Chapter 2381, C2381. Chen Shang wiped his sweat. When Chu Hongqing saw this, he also quickly helped him wipe his sweat. Hongqing, how many jade monies do you think I can sell these 5 pills for? Chen Shang asked. This is a light gold crystal pill, selling it for 50,000 is not a problem. Chu Hongqing said, but you should just eat by yourself. Chen Shang nodded his head, then, I shall go into closed-door cultivation for a while. After he finished speaking, he entered a secret room and ate the pill that he had just refined. 5 days later, Chen Shang refined all of the medicinal powers of the pellets. What he did not expect was that these 5 pellets actually allowed him to condense 9 azure dragon bones. The azure dragon inside the second divine sense sea was already filled with bones, and his fleshly body had also risen by a lot. In addition to the bones that the azure dragon has just condensed, the flames that I have released are even stronger. If not for the help of the Chuangshi God Furnace, my previous flames would not have been able to refine high-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan. Was extremely excited, he felt that he would need to cultivate in a Dao body soon. When I finish cultivating the Dao body, I will go back to look for Kilian and the others. Chen Shang had already understood that the forest where the great heaven star was located was a deathly still place. The barbaric beasts would not go, nor would they grow medicinal herbs. Walking out of the secret room, Chen Shang shouted, Hongqing. She's not here. Chen Shang frowned. He then looked around the room and the hall but he did not find Hongqing. When he was outside, he could smell the aroma of the wine and knew that Yu Yan was drinking again. Younger brother Shen, you've finally come out from closed-door cultivation. Yu Yan laughed. Quickly come over and drink a few bowls. I've only been in closed-door cultivation for 5 days, right? What do you mean finally? Chen Shang laughed. He walked over and drank a big bowl. Have you seen my servant girl? She has returned to the Fire Reverent School. The Fire Reverent School is hosting a grand gathering for the Heavenly Dao sect, and as the goddess of the Fire Reverent School, how can she not return? It was Fire Reverent School leader who came to call her. As Yu Yan spoke, his expression became serious. Bro, you might be in trouble. Fire Reverent School leader is very dissatisfied with you taking the spirit demon woman as your slave, you need to be careful. I will pay attention. Chen Shang nodded. Then what's the Heavenly Dao sect gathering? It's just a bunch of guys showing off, what's wrong? Are you interested? Yu Yan's eyes lit up, and he laughed. You are so good at refining pills, then maybe you will be able to shine there, which is good for you. Tell me about this gathering. Chen Shang laughed. I still prefer to join in on the fun. It's a group of powerful sects and families gathering together to compare. However, little brother, your current power is still a bit off from being able to cultivate a Dao body. Yu Yan said. It's already too late, there's still 3 months of time. Why can't I return in time? Chen Shang laughed. I have complete time. Right, how do I contact my young maid? She said she would come every few days. You just wait patiently. Don't go look for her in the Fire Reverent School right now. Those fellows from the Fire Reverent School have been bewitched by this witch to the point of having their divine soul turned upside down. When they found out that you took her as your slave, they couldn't help but want to tear you into pieces. Yu Yan laughed. Right now, there are many young masters who want to see you, they should be trying to curry favor with you. I'm too lazy to see them. Chen Shang said with a smile, and then took another sip of the wine. Brother Yu, in this world, are Fire Reverent School's leader the strongest? Chen Shang asked. If it is in the Fire Dao Divine Place's eyes, he is considered stronger. However, I am also not sure just how big this world is. Although there are many powerful sects and ancient families in this region, outside of this region, Fire Reverent School leader is probably not even worth a fart. Yu Yan said. Of course, we might not leave this area for the rest of our lives, and we don't have the ability to. Chen Shang was shocked. He never thought that this big chaotic times would actually be so vast. Even Yu Yan felt that he was unable to leave this area. Chen Shang suddenly felt that Yu Yan and the others did not know about the existence of those natural law divine spirits. Not long after, Chu Hongqing arrived. When she saw Chen Shang drinking, she chastised him with her charming voice, and Chen Shang then pulled her away. Hongqing, is your leader dissatisfied with me? Chen Shang asked. Do you want me to rescind the master and servant blood contract? No need, this is my own problem. Even if he's unhappy, it doesn't matter. Chu Hongqing smiled at Chen Shang. Don't worry about this, I will settle this matter. How is it going after you ate those 5 pills? Quote. The effects of condensing 9 bones are very good. Right, where is the lightning dragon eagle's divine soul? My bones needs to be integrated with the divine soul. Chen Shang said. Here, that lightning dragon eagle has quite a few divine deities, they have all been taken out, and that can also be used to refine pills. Chu Hongqing took out a small red bag. Take a look. Chen Shang looked inside, there were more than 100 divine deity and more than 10 bones, all of them seemed to be very strong. What about the beast meat and beast blood? Give it all to me, I want to concoct pills, I want to cultivate my Tao body as soon as possible so that I can participate in the gathering. Chen Shang laughed. You really want to go? Chu Hongqing frowned slightly. Can't you go? Chen Shang said. Yes, but now, even the disciples of Fire Reverent School hate you, I'm worried that something might happen to you if you go. Chu Hongqing said. Then I won't go. Chen Shang laughed. Hongqing, why don't you leave Fire Reverent School? You should be clear that following me is much better than staying in Fire Reverent School. Quote. My father has a good relationship with the leader, if I were to leave the Fire Reverent School now, the leader would definitely not agree to it. Chu Hongqing shook her head. She gave all the refined beast meat and beast blood to Chen Shang, as well as the lightning dragon eagle's scales, bones, dragon tendons and other good materials. What about your father? Chen Shang asked. He died a long time ago. Chu Hongqing sighed. Right now, you better raise your strength first, and give me another lightning dragon eagle, I'll help you get it. Chen Shang nodded. When Chu Hongqing left, he started to refine pills again. Just now, Chu Hongqing had given him more than 10 sets of medicinal ingredients, which were enough for him to refine quite a few heaven stage high-ranked Yaozdan. Chen Shang had originally wanted to join in on the fun, but she could tell that Chu Hongqing wasn't too willing to join in. It might be because of his master-servant relationship with Chu Hongqing, otherwise, it would attract too much attention and attract a lot of trouble. I better be honest in concocting pills. We'll talk about it when I have the strength. This time, Chen Shang was refining a batch of pills a day faster than before. Right now, he felt that he could already completely master the high-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan, so he planned to challenge even more difficult people with Crash Method S, in order to refine even more high-grade or in order to produce even more pills. Chapter 2382, C2382. C2382. Chen Shang liked to challenge things that were even more difficult. In the eyes of others, the harder it was to reach, the more he liked to challenge them. Especially this kind of crash method, if other alchemists were able to produce as many pills as he did, they would definitely be very satisfied. However, he was not. In his eyes, this was not the limit. He was very clear about this. In his eyes, there was no limit to refining pills and cultivating. This is a Jingshan from the start, what would happen if we were to clash again? Chen Shang had never tried it before. In the era of the Star Law Divine Realm, when he was refining the King Grade and Divine Pellet, it was very difficult to use the crash method. Now that his strength had increased by a lot, and he even had Chuangshi God Furnace, he wanted to give it a try. Bang bang, Chen Shang controlled the 5 clumps of medicinal liquid inside the pill furnace to collide with each other at the same time. Previously, he had injected a very powerful force into the pill furnace to push them forward, so at the moment of impact, the Chuangshi God Furnace was trembling violently. Ah! Chen Shang could not help but cry out in pain. He did not expect that the energy would actually affect his divine soul, causing his head to feel intense pain. Luckily it only lasted for a short period of time, or else he would not be able to control himself. It's fine now. Chen Shang looked at the inside of the Chuangshi God Furnace, which had turned into many little floating balls of golden mud, floating inside the pill furnace, occupying a lot of space. Although these balls of mud collided with each other, they did not fuse together. This meant that these small clumps of mud were repelling each other. This was mainly because the energy within them was inconsistent and needed to be refined so that they could unify and fuse together. Chen Shang was very experienced with this. He immediately released a strong flame and burned it, at the same time channeling his energy into many small clumps of mud, making them all equal in quality. This step required a lot of time, and even after continuing for a few days, Chen Shang was only halfway done. However, he was very patient with this process. As long as he succeeded, the quality of this pill would be very high, many times better than the ordinary pills. As for the specific effects, they could only be seen after the refinement process was completed. More than 10 days had passed. Chen Shang finally managed to fuse all of these small clumps of mud into one. Although it had been fused, the most difficult part was that the Chuangshi God furnace already had a crystal ball as big as a watermelon. This is the quality of the Jingshan Dan. If I were to directly smash it into pieces, I would be able to obtain at least 100 high-grade heaven-ranked Yaosh Dan, and it would even be merged with a beast's meat. Chen Shang himself was shocked. He felt that the reason it was like this was mainly because it had injected too much of his own strength during the collision. Of course, this was all because he had too many life-killing divine deity, so the life and death god power was already capable of helping him replicate them. When he had charged into the fray just now, he had injected 30 to 40% of his life and death god power, which was almost half of it. It seems that I have to split this bead into 10 pieces and compress it. Chen Shang could not imagine what kind of pill it would be once it was compressed to the size of a peanut. He was also very curious about this. Even though it was very difficult, he had to do it. After a day had passed, Chen Shang had finally split the large crystal into 10 parts. He used the split refining method inside the heavenly alchemy to split the large ball of crystal into 10 small beads, and then started to compress it with his powerful divine power. The compression process was the most difficult because the crystal was already very solid and was the ultimate form of energy. It could be said that there was no space for compression anymore. It's difficult to suppress it. Chen Shang tried for a long time, but unexpectedly, there was no progress. The 10 pearls were still as big as ever, and did not shrink in any way. What should I do? Chen Shang stopped. He realized that even if he ignored them now, the 10 little pearls would not change at all. If he took them out now, it would be 10 very big Jingshan Dan-s. However, he was unwilling. He really wanted to know what it would be like if he continued to compress them. 6 Realms Mirrors. Chen Shang immediately thought of the heavenly artifact. The 6 Realms Mirrors had many powerful formations. After he took out the 6 Realms Mirrors, it became very small and he put it inside the Chuangshi God furnace. When that time comes, as long as I control the flame to concentrate on those crystal beads, I won't burn any more 6 Realms Mirrors. Chen Shang would definitely be very careful. 6 Realms Mirrors were rare heavenly artifact, and many times they had helped him in critical moments. After he was ready, Chen Shang started again. He controlled a formation inside the 6 Realms Mirrors to activate, and this formation released a very strong pressure. If he controlled it correctly, it could crush a mountain into grains. Right now, Chen Shang was going to turn 10 apple-sized crystal balls into peanut-sized pills. It's starting. Chen Shang controlled the Chuangshi God furnace to release a fierce flame and the crystal ball would become softer under the fierce flames. The 6 Realms Mirrors activated the formation and released a squeeze of power. Chen Shang immediately saw that the dozen or so burning red pearls were changing shape, and were being pressured down little by little. It's working. Chen Shang was overjoyed, but he was also a little worried. This was because he had exhausted a lot of his energy, and the main reason was that the 6 Realms Mirrors was frantically absorbing his energy. It could be seen that the 6 Realms Mirrors required a lot of energy to maintain the array and release its suppressing power. Otherwise, it would be impossible to suppress the crystal balls. Right now, Chen Shang could only endure the battle. He was already in the middle of it, and even if it wasn't for a reason, he couldn't stop midway, otherwise the compressed crystal beads would erupt. Once it started to compress a little, the crystal ball would become very unstable and could only continue to compress. Once it let go, the furnace would explode. Since he had already reached this step, Chen Shang definitely would not give up. No matter how difficult it was, he had to persevere. Right now, Chen Shang felt that time was passing very slowly, as though it was every day of the year. 10 days had passed. Chen Shang suddenly let out a long breath, and then laid on the ground. He successfully compressed the 10 crystal balls to become as small as a normal pill. He didn't go to see how it was. He was already very tired and just wanted to have a good rest. After lying on the ground for most of the time, Chen Shang finally recovered. After that, he opened up the Chuangshi God furnace, but there was no aura being emitted from inside, not even the smell of medicine. What's going on? I clearly succeeded, Chen Shang thought in his heart, and anxiously took out the 10 completed pills. What is this? Chen Shang looked at the 10 transparent little pellets in his hand, inside which a bunch of golden flames were pulsating. Chapter 2383, C2383. C2383. Chen Shang took a closer look and discovered that other than the things that looked like golden flames inside the pellets, there was a small dot in the middle of the pellets. This small dot was emitting energy, maintaining the flames burning. Chen Shang took a deep breath in shock. this divine deity, no, it should be called Dan. The fact that the pellet could actually condense his own divine deity had already exceeded his imagination. As expected, there is no limit to the quality. Chen Shang confirmed his method once again. These pills not only have divine deity, they also have their own divine soul. I wonder what will happen if I eat them. Chen Shang was secretly excited. He then swallowed a pill and started to refine. The pill entered his body and he only needed to slightly circulate his cultivation technique. The medicinal strength was quickly refined and assimilated into his body, entering his second deep sea. Inside Chen Zhang's second divine sense sea, the azure dragon had already gathered all of its bones. Next, he guided the medicinal power to the ground-suppressing immortal elephant S, and just as he entered the ground-suppressing immortal elephant S, he began to condense his bones. Very fast. Chen Shang was wild with joy. A single pill could allow me to condense 2 bones, this is too unbelievable. After he completely condensed the azure dragon's bones, it would be even harder for him to condense bones, but now he had condensed 2 of them in an instant. Not much time has passed. Not only has my bones condensed a lot faster, it's also much easier to refine and easier to absorb. Chen Shang felt that as long as he refined a few more batches, he would be able to cultivate Dao body very quickly. After that, he ate all the remaining pills. It won't take long, I'll continue refining. Chen Shang took out another set of medicinal herbs. Just one set of these herbs, along with beast blood and beast meat, had such an effect after going through a variety of refining methods. If other alchemists were to know about this, they would definitely be shocked. Chen Shang had been in closed-door cultivation for 2 months, and in total he had managed to refine 3 batches of heaven pellets with the right to do so. Why hasn't there been any change? Chen Shang did not feel that he had a Dao body. If he were to raise his Dao body to a large realm, he would definitely feel an obvious change. Could it be? Chen Shang thought about it carefully, and said with a frown, could it be that my second divine sense C needs another 100 gods level? According to what he felt, the second divine sense C no longer needed divine deity. The Yaosh Dan can condense divine deity too, give it a try. Chen Shang still had 5 pills, he ate one and channeled his alive slain method to condense his divine deity in the second divine sense C. Not long after, he managed to condense several divine deity in the second divine sense C. It's fast, how much divine deity can a pellet condense? Chen Shang was extremely shocked. Previously, when this pellet condensed 2 bones S, he was shocked, but now, the condensing of divine deity S was like laying eggs, continuous and unending. 30 divine deity. Chen Zhang's heart trembled, the value of this was too heaven-defying. He discovered that one of the beast statue could hold 20 divine deity, and the green dragon was quickly filled up by him. So, my second divine sense C can condense 160 divine deity S. Chen Shang was very excited. This meant that when he stepped into the Dao Ti realm, he would become a lot stronger, and be able to possess a very powerful Dao body. After that, he consumed the remaining 4 pellets, and spent 3 days to condense 120 divine deity. We still lack 10 divine deity S. Chen Shang still had a few Yaosh Dan in his possession, all of which he had refined using ordinary methods before. After eating them all, he continued to cultivate. Only he could consume so many powerful pills to cultivate quickly. Not long after, his divine deity at the second divine sense C were completely full. Right now, he had not stepped into the Dao body because his divine soul was not enough. Regardless of whether it was divine deity or not, both required one to either integrate divine soul inside, or cultivate it themselves. This required a total of more than 200 sets of divine soul. But Chen Shang did not feel it was difficult, because he had the lightning dragon eagle's corpse in his hands. These lightning dragon eagle all had 2 divine sense CS. If he was careful, he could obtain a lot of divine soul from their bodies. He felt that the divine soul in these few lightning dragon eagle S were sufficient for him to use. A few days later, Chen Zhang's body started to shine with a white light. He could feel his body being immersed in a warm and comfortable water, and the warm energy that was flowing within his body made him feel extremely comfortable. Have I stepped into the Dao Ti realm? Chen Shang thought. At this moment, not only did he feel a change in his body, even the 6th beast elephant in the second divine sense C seemed to have life. My first divine sense C has already become a real world, how magical. Chen Shang could clearly feel that the divine sense C world in the first divine sense C was no longer his illusion, but actually existed in a world that contained its own laws. I can change the time inside. Chen Shang increased the speed of the time so that the plants inside could grow quickly. It was just that it required a lot of energy. I can use my control of the laws of the real world to comprehend natural law principles. Chen Shang was shocked in his heart, because just now, when he controlled the real world, he had already felt the subtle changes in time. Chen Shang opened his eyes and thought, I understand. The so-called Tao Ti realm is to cultivate a real world, where one can experience the workings of the heavenly Tao for themselves, and experience the power of natural law principles from it. Quote, I can even create a natural law principles, but right now, I have already created a natural law world. My body is just a container for a natural law world. When he thought about this level, Chen Shang was immediately shocked. He felt that it was very likely that he was in someone's real world, and the only thing he did not realize was that this person had cultivated an extremely huge natural law divine realm that had been operating for many years. Normally, this person would not even be in charge of it. Are we really in the real world of a living being? Chen Shang looked at his own real world. He believed that as long as he had time, he would be able to make his real world stronger. There would also be many creatures born inside that would form a system that would operate. Of course, this would take a very long time. If it were in the past, he might not care about the world that he had created. All of this was only his guess, but it also became a direction of exploration. He felt that if it was truly as he thought, he wanted to meet the master of this world, and that was the true heavenly Tao. Upon entering the Tao Ti realm, the most obvious increase was in strength. After all, his bones and strength had both increased by almost 200, so the increase in strength was definitely extremely huge. Chapter 2384, C2384. C2384. Furthermore, when using the crash method, the best and most effective life and death divine power condensed by the life-killing divine deity would allow him to refine a heaven pellet that had the right to do so. With just a few medicinal ingredients, I was able to increase my cultivation by such a huge amount. The heavenly alchemy is indeed frightening. Who exactly was the one who created this heavenly alchemy? This was a question that had been in Chen Zhang's heart for many years. After taking a bath, Chen Shang walked out of the secret room. Yu Yan and LV Ying were drinking wine, and were both surprised to see Chen Shang walk in. You've cultivated Tao body? Yu Yan asked anxiously. You managed to cultivate to Tao body in less than 3 months. How did you do it? Furthermore, you are on the verge of a breakthrough. Quote, I am an alchemist, you understand. Chen Shang laughed, and picked up the wine that LV Ying poured for him, and drank it all in one gulp. Before he formed his Tao body, he could get drunk from drinking this wine, but now he felt like he was drinking water. Good boy, amazing. Yu Yan immediately poured wine for him, and then the three of them filled the bowl with wine. You're not in a hurry to attend the heavenly law auction? Yu Yan asked again. No, I don't plan on going. This will bring trouble to my little maid. Chen Shang laughed. Has she been here before? Of course I have. Come on time. It's just that I didn't see you, you brat. This demoness was previously made of steel and no one could bite her, but who would have thought that you would make her obedient? Yu Yan laughed wickedly. She told me to tell you, if you came out, you should go participate in the heavenly law auction. She should have dealt with all of those troubles. Really? Chen Shang had already given up on that idea. Of course it's true. Furthermore, she was even invited to go by the Fire Reverend School's leader. You are very famous now. I wonder how many people come to this shop to find you every day. Yu Yan laughed and patted LV Ying's back. Boss Lu, your shop's business is so good now. It's all thanks to younger brother Shen. How are you going to thank him now? LV Ying smiled as he poured wine for Chen Shang. I will thank you so much, little brother. Chen Shang laughed. That's unnecessary, you just have to take care of the food and shelter, and from time to time, let big brother you drink some wine. Just as the three of them were happily drinking, someone suddenly walked in. It was the shopkeeper. Boss, another person has come to cause trouble. This time, the person who has come is not someone to be trifled with. We can't just chase him away like we did in the past. The shopkeeper said with a worried expression. What are you doing here? Chen Shang asked anxiously. He guessed that it must be related to him, and from the shopkeeper's words, it must have been something like that. LV Ying sighed. Even they came to challenge you. Because you took Chu Hongqing as your female slave, mercilessly defeated Niu Hao, and closed the door on him. You could be said to have become famous in the Fire Dao Divine Place in one fight. A lot of people who want to be famous are trying to beat you. They think that as long as they can beat you, they will be able to get such a reputation just like you. Right now, I only know how to refine Yaozdan. Compared to them, I can't even concoct other pills. Chen Shang shook his head and laughed. Of course, I can compete with the Yaozdan S on the heaven stage. Younger brother Shen, do you know how to refine heaven stage Yaozdan? Yu Yan was suddenly so shocked that he almost choked on his wine. LV Ying was also very surprised, and could not believe it. What is it? Is that strange? Chen Shang didn't really think so. Of course it's strange. This crappy shop of Boss Lu's only had heaven stage pellets at its highest. That king's pellet he kept here was a treasure used to hold shop. Yu Yan said. Little brother, are you serious? Refining a heaven-ranked Yaozdan would take a lot of time, so I would need 10 days. LV Ying said. 10 days. It's a little slow. Chen Shang laughed. If I refine it, adding the beast meat and beast blood, it'll be done in a day. Right now, it should be more than 1 day. Quote. The corner of LV Ying's mouth twitched. He did not dare to not believe what Chen Shang had said, so he asked, not just for a day, but for how long? Adding beast blood beast meat would definitely increase the difficulty by a lot, and it wasn't just something he could refine in a day. He could only use the word, monster, to describe Chen Shang. I'm not sure either. We have to give it a try to know. Chen Shang had refined a few batches of heavenly pellets before, so his skill at refining heaven stage had increased by a lot. Furthermore, he had already stepped into the Dao Ti realm. Although he was only at the first stage of the Dao Ti realm, it was still a huge improvement compared to previous stages. Go, aren't there bastards that want to cause trouble? Kill him, Yu Yan said. I'll go and give it a try now. Yu Yan pulled Chen Shang. You don't need to refine those on the heaven stage, and those in the middle will suffice. You don't need to add the beast blood beast meat to challenge those ignorant brats who don't know their place. They can only refine those on the heaven stage if they push themselves to their deaths. LV Ying nodded. Let's try it out. All right. Chen Shang smiled, then shared a bowl with them before walking downstairs. The luxurious lobby on the first floor was already filled with people. The commotion caused by the people was not small, and with a single glance, one could tell that they had some sort of background. Hongqing. Chen Shang saw that Chu Hongqing was also there, and there were a few other handsome men beside her. Chu Hongqing had also just arrived, when a few men came up to chat with her, but when she saw Chen Shang, she anxiously went over, and although she was surprised, she did not come out. You haven't seen me for so long, do you miss me? Chen Shang giggled as she pinched Chu Hongqing's beautiful face, causing everyone to curse him in their hearts. He actually treated such a beauty so rudely. Humph. Chu Hongqing pouted coquettishly, then walked behind Chen Shang. You're just Chen Shang. A blue-clothed man walked up. Behind him were 2 attendants and a few beautiful maidservants. Nonsense. Chu Hongqing scoffed. Chen Shang sized him up, then he turned out to be a little handsome, looking somewhat arrogant but with no special characteristics. Lan Taoshan from Lan Clan. LV Ying said. That's the guy, Yu Yan said. After staying in the Fire Reverend School for a while, I have learned quite a good pill refining skill and then went back. I should be able to conveniently come to participate in this heavenly mystery to challenge the younger brother Shen. Chen Shang had also heard that the Tian Dao family had quite a bit of power in this region. They normally wouldn't dare to provoke anyone, so he had to be careful around LV Ying. At this time, everyone wanted to see if Chen Shang was really as powerful as the rumors said he was. Because Chen Shang had accepted Chu Hongqing as a servant, the young masters at the scene were furious. They all hoped that Chen Shang would lose to him. Not bad. I wonder if young Master Shen will accept my challenge. Lan Taoshan smiled at Chen Shang. It was a smile filled with confidence. I can accept that, but I can only refine Yaozdan, and now I can barely make heaven rank ones, so if you want to challenge me, you can only compete with me on this. Chen Shang said. Chapter 2385, C2385. C2385. Those who watched the competition that day knew that Chen Shang was still not very familiar with refining Yaozdan. Those who heard about it later on knew about it too, so Lan Taoshan was very clear about it too. If you want to challenge me, you can only challenge me to refine Yaozdan S. I do not know how to refine other pills, I will definitely lose, Chen Shang said. Chen Shang had refined a low-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan, and he could produce 10 of them in one furnace. Not to mention this Lan Taoshan, even if the strongest old alchemist from the Fire Dao Divine Place S were to be invited, it would still be very difficult for him to win against Chen Shang. But what about middle-grade heaven step? Everyone was thinking about this matter. The middle grade heaven stage was much harder to refine than the lower grade. They all felt that it would not be as easy for Chen Shang to refine middle grade heaven stage. Lan Taotian could not say anything now. After all, Chen Shang had already very directly told him that he could not possibly have a competition with someone else for a pill that they were not familiar with. Alright, let's compete in refining a middle grade heaven stage Yaozdan. Lan Taotian had also come prepared, so he only considered for a moment before agreeing. Chen Shang smiled and nodded, then let's begin. From the looks of it, you seem to be very good at refining Yaozdan too. Quote. Chu Hongqing did not say anything. She knew that Chen Zhang's pill refining skills were very high, let alone middle-ranked. Even if it was high-ranked, with beast meat and blood, he could still refine 5 pills, and she could not compare to Chen Shang. I heard that Lan Taotian's middle-tier Yaozdan was also very powerful. Most of the middle-tier Yaozdan that his Lan clan sold were refined by him. Those who were familiar with this area discussed with the people around them in a low voice. I also know that I bought a Yaozdan refined by Lan Taotian. It was mixed with beast blood and beast meat. Although it was a bit expensive, I felt that it was worth it. A middle-ranked Yaozdan with beast blood meat added on it. This Lan Taotian is not bad. I just wonder how many pills he can refine in a single furnace. Quote. 3 pills. If we do not add them, it is possible to get 4 or 5 of them. Quote. Although everyone knew that Lan Taotian was more outstanding in refining a middle-tier Yaozdan, they did not dare to underestimate him. After all, Chen Shang was able to refine 10 low-tier Yaozdan in one furnace, which was quite heaven-defying. The reason why Lan Taotian came to challenge Chen Shang was also to increase his fame. He felt that it wasn't a big deal even if he lost, because he was already outstanding and had a very high position in the Lan clan. Chen Shang did not have any mid-grade Yaozdan medicinal ingredients, so he asked LV Ying for a portion of it. Then, he took out a pill furnace. Isn't this pill furnace Chu Hongqing's? The pill furnace is the life of the alchemist, and he would normally not casually borrow it. It looks like his relationship with Chu Hongqing is not just ordinary. Hehe, so what? The Fire Reverend School was very unsatisfied with this. After Chu Hongqing learned this brat's consummate pill techniques, he would probably force him and Chu Hongqing to remove the master-servant contract. This is probably why Chu Hongqing became his master-servant contract. Quote. Although Chen Shang heard these words, he did not put it to heart. What kind of thoughts did Chu Hongqing have? Master-servant contract was not a joke, it was equivalent to handing over his heart and life to him. Of course, Chen Shang still had to be wary of Fire Reverend School. After inspecting each other's pill furnaces and ingredients, Chen Shang and Lan Taotian began to refine pills. It was just an ordinary refinement, so there wasn't anything difficult for Chen Shang. He was able to easily refine that kind of pill, let alone an ordinary medial-grade Yaozdan. When concocting the pills, Chen Shang noticed that there was a rather strong strand of consciousness inspecting his pill furnace. After he discovered it, he immediately stopped it. Chen Shang immediately followed this consciousness and discovered that it was released by a black-clothed man in the back of the crowd. Hongqing, who is that guy from the outer sect? Do you know him? This fellow is not simple. Chen Shang quickly transmitted to Chu Hongqing and sent the image of the man to her mind. It's him. Chu Hongqing was shocked. I know him, he is from the Fang family. The most powerful family of the Fire Dao Divine Place, the Heavenly Dao family. Quote. Oh, he was very strong. It almost disturbed me, Chen Shang said. The Fang family and the Lan clan have a good relationship. Did he try to disturb you? This guy is definitely trying to collude with Lan clan on purpose. Chu Hongqing scoffed. If he dares to do it again, you can tell me. I'll go and take care of him. His name is Fang Hang, a alchemist at the peak of the Dao Yuan realm, a disciple of Supreme Flame. Chen Shang continued to refine pills. Although the other party wanted to disturb him, he was still a little weak and was discovered. Last time, Chen Shang used a magic method furnace to refine pills because he did not have a good pill furnace. Now that he had Chu Hongqing's pill furnace and was more familiar with the refining process of a Yaozdan, it was not as difficult as last time. After half an hour had passed, Chen Shang suddenly opened his pill furnace. Completed. Everyone was startled, they never thought that Chen Shang had improved so much. Previously, he was still a stranger to Yaozdan, but now, he was so familiar with it. Lan Taotian had not finished refining the pill, and the rules were only set to 4 hours. The competition was only about the quantity and quality of the pills being produced. 10 pills. Chen Shang casually took out 10 Yaojians from the furnace and the entire place suddenly became quiet. 10 low-rank ones, 10 mid-rank ones, and 10 high-rank ones. That would be too heaven-defying. Chu Hongqing was also a little surprised. She thought that she had caught up to only 7 or 8 pills, but she never expected that Chen Shang could actually maintain his low-ranked strength. Only now did she remember that Chen Shang had refined 5 high-rank Yaojian with beast blood meat before, and it was not an ordinary process. If it was an ordinary refinement, refining 10 pills wouldn't be a problem. When Lan Taoshan saw Chen Shang being able to refine 10 pills in one go, causing him to be extremely shocked, his mind was not at ease. His pill furnace shook violently, and with a bang, he exploded the furnace. I've lost. Lan Taoshan still had time to concoct new pills, but he was very clear that no matter how many batches he concocted, he would not be able to produce more than Chen Shang. Chen Shang stood up. Even though everyone was looking at him as if they were looking at a monster, he did not feel anything. You only know how to refine Yaojian. Fang Heng suddenly spoke out. He took off his bamboo hat and walked over. Lan Taoshan immediately came to his side, and knew that they were not bad with just a glance, which immediately made Chen Shang secretly angry. So what? Chen Shang said coldly, facing such a despicable person, the other party did not look good. Just by looking at his appearance, Fang Heng was someone who would easily give others a good impression. He was handsome, and did not carry a haughty look like Lan Taoshan, but Chen Shang knew that this Fang Heng was very sinister. Chapter 2386, C2386. C2386. Fang Heng laughed faintly. Nothing, to be able to refine Yaojian to such an extent, in Fire Dao Divine Place, there is no one who can rival you. But so what? You only know how to refine this kind of pill. For you to be able to forge such a pill, you definitely won't focus on the other pills. If you did not have such accomplishments in refining other pellets, you would have definitely suffered a huge blow and then, you would have spent your entire life refining Yaojian. Because, as long as you refine Yaojian, you would not feel any sense of defeat. Quote. Therefore, no matter how well you have refined the Yaojian, in my eyes, you are not a real alchemist. A real alchemist should be proficient in many different types of pills. Even if you have refined other pills, it would still be extremely outstanding. Chen Shang sneered. You are just like me. What right do you have to assert that I only know how to refine Yaojian? Why are you so confident that I will only refine Yaojian in my lifetime? Quote. Oh, didn't you only know how to refine Yaojian? This is yours. Fang Heng also sneered. One look was enough to tell that he was looking for trouble. Chu Hongqing had already wanted to go over to fix Fang Heng, but he was stopped by Chen Shang. That's because I just learned how to refine pills, and I only know how to refine Yaojian. I have yet to try out any other pills. Chen Shang answered honestly, so you and I will only refine Yaojian for your imagination. Lan Taoshan suddenly sneered. What big words, don't you know who the person in front of you is? He is definitely qualified to say those words, he is a disciple of the Fire Reverend school leader. Quote. So that's how it is, I finally understand, as long as you become a leader, you can be a hero. If that's the case, then it would be my honor, for a disciple of the Fire Reverend school to come all the way here to fight Huba. Chen Shang also mocked him. Who do you think you are to dare insult Fire Reverend school like that? Lan Taoshan was immediately enraged. Thinking back to how he had lost just now, his own heart was filled with anger. I don't have anything, I'm human. Do you think everyone has something in their eyes? And you think everyone else is the same just because you think you have something of your own? Chen Shang laughed. Chen Shang, if you want to prove yourself, then compete with me in another batch of pills. Since you have just started learning pill refining, you just need to compete with those below heaven stage. Fang Heng said. Everyone present immediately understood that Fang Heng's previous words had already incited him to compete with him in refining other pills. Only by doing so could they win. You're giving me the pill formula? Chen Shang asked. If you give it to me, I'll agree to compete with you. Alright, I'll agree to the medicinal formula and ingredients. A pleased look flashed across Fang Heng's eyes. He had been waiting for Chen Zhang's words. Seeing that Chen Shang had been provoked, Chu Hongqing and the others secretly blamed him for being too reckless. Chu Hongqing even lightly pinched Chen Shang. Before the competition, we should at least make a bet. Only then will there be any meaning. Fang Heng said. Alright, what do you want to bet? Chen Shang asked. He was not afraid of the other party. If you lose, give me your control over Chu Hongqing. Fang Heng said. That meant, Chen Shang had lost, and Chu Hongqing was Fang Heng's female slave. Then please go back. Although Hongqing is my servant, she is not a wager in my eyes. I will definitely not use her as a wager. Chen Zhang's expression changed, and everyone could see that he was extremely resolute, causing Chu Hongqing to be secretly moved in his heart. Seeing how determined Chen Shang was, Fang Heng became even more furious in his heart, because now, everyone could tell that Chen Shang was very concerned about Chu Hongqing's body and heart were both on the same level as Chen Shang. The lofty hierarch flame had been taken over by such a stinky kid. Everyone present felt uncomfortable just thinking about it. Alright, then how about we bet $1 million on the jade money? No matter what, Fang Heng would definitely compete with Chen Shang today, and would even defeat him, causing him great losses. Only $1 million? You still have the nerve to say that, young master of the Fang family, and a disciple of Supreme Flame's leader, would you bet so little? Chen Shang sneered. The crowd immediately went into an uproar. $1 million jade money, no ordinary person would be able to afford that, even the owner, LV Ying, wouldn't be able to afford that. To many people, $1 million jade money was considered very big. 10 million, Fang Heng clenched his teeth. Previously, he was still rather arrogant, but now, he had actually been flipped over by Chen Shang. 50 million, Chen Shang shouted indifferently. If you don't want to, then go back. Chen Shang could have rejected Fang Heng earlier, because he was betting on Chu Hongqing, and Fang Heng was even taking the initiative to challenge Chen Shang. If Fang Heng rejected the jade moneys who were gambling on him now, then he would be terrified. As the challenger, if he left with his tail between his legs, he would definitely be laughed at. 1 million was Fang Heng's limit. He was confident that he would not lose, but 50 million now was giving him a lot of pressure. Don't speak nonsense. Do you have 50 million on you? Fang Heng said coldly. No, but do you have 10 million? How could Chen Shang not know about the situation of the jade money? I don't, but my Fang family's reputation is right here. What do you have? Fang Heng sneered. I have refined 10 Yaoshdan. I believe that I can also refine them to this degree. Chen Shang said. Boss Liu, if I can produce 10 pellets in one furnace and refine 10 batches in a day, how many jade money can I earn in one day? 5,000 jade money is a portion of the Yaoshdan's medicinal ingredients. If a Yaoshdan goes one on top, then it would be 10,000 jade money going one pellet, and a furnace would have 10,000 jade money going 10,000, while 10 stoves would have 100,000, and 1 million. Excluding 10 sets of medicinal ingredients for 50,000 jade money, you can earn 950,000 jade money for a day. LV Ying said. When everyone heard that, they could not help but jump in fright. One day, it was close to 1 million jade money, in 1 month, it would be 30 million. After all, were rather popular and had a lot of medicinal ingredients. If Chen Shang really wanted to refine them this way, it would be a blessing for many cultivators. If I lose, I could pay back 50 million jade money at most in half a year. Chen Shang said. 50 million jade money, do you dare to bet? Fang Heng did not answer immediately. After all, this was a huge amount of money, and if he lost and the Fang family did not give him the money, it would definitely cause him to lose his reputation. And he would be blamed. Can you really refine 10 batches of Yaoshdan in one day? Suddenly, someone walked in. Upon hearing the voice, the anxious Fang Heng was overjoyed, because his father had come. Father. Fang Heng immediately walked over. He did not know what to do earlier. That's right, he only refined normal Yaoshdan. He did not need to add beast blood and meat, so he felt that it would definitely not be a problem. Chapter 2387, C2387. C2387. When Chen Shang saw the middle-aged man come over, it was like seeing a jade money. This middle-aged man would definitely gamble in order to support his son. His Fang family's second clan head, Fang Daqi, is quite strong. The fire reverent school leader has often praised him. Chu Hongqing whispered to Chen Shang. Let's see how I'll trick him to death. Chen Shang laughed. Fang Daqi thought for a while, and said, but I don't believe that you can refine 10 batches a day. However, I believe that you can refine 10 batches of Yaoshdan in one day. The price of Yaoshdan are not bad. If you lose, you can pay back the gambling debts within a year. Quote. Then, you're willing to bet? Chen Shang smiled lightly. 50 millions is between Fang Heng and I. How about we bet 100 million? Only then can we face senior status. Of course, I wonder if senior represents the Fang family. Fang Deki also knew the rules. His son would give him the pill formulas and ingredients, and then compete with Chen Shang in refining a batch of heaven-tier lower pellets. With regards to Chen Shang, who suffered a bit because he had never concocted that kind of pill before, although he was able to concoct 10 Yaojidan as soon as he came into contact with them, Fang Deki had also heard that Chen Shang had taken out a lot of Yaojidan's medicinal ingredients at that time, so he felt that Chen Shang had a certain understanding towards Yaojidan's. After careful consideration, Fang Deki made a decision, and said, if you lose, you have to go to our Fang family to refine Yaojidan, enough to pay off your gambling debts. Only an ancient clan like the Fang family could afford to gamble like that, but Chen Shang was even more admirable, because he, too, could afford it. He concocted pills quickly and got a lot of pills. Right now, everyone suddenly felt that it was very worthwhile for Chu Hongqing to be Chen Zhang's servant. Younger brother Shen, that's 100 million. Yu Yan was also shocked. Although he came from a tribe deep in the mountains, he knew that this was not a small amount. Nothing, I can afford it. Chen Shang smiled faintly. He walked to the front and asked, all right, refine the heaven stage pill. Give me the pill formula and ingredients. Fang Heng took out a jade tablet and gave it to Chen Shang, saying, this recipe. He then took out a jade box and placed 3 sets of medicinal ingredients inside. Qiwan Dan, Chen Shang frowned. When everyone heard this, they cried out in alarm. LV Ying said in a serious tone, this is a miraculous pill, and is extremely difficult to refine. Furthermore, it can only be concocted with Daoyuan immortal power, and even if one has Daoyuan immortal power, it is very difficult to successfully refine it, because this pill requires the Fang family's unique divine power. Fang family, don't you think this is too despicable? Chu Hongqing was furious, you clearly can only concoct such a pill in your Fang family, and yet you take it out. You don't have a big family background. Everyone knew that the Fang family had such a miraculous pill, but they never thought that they would actually be willing to give it to Chen Shang. But it didn't matter as long as he thought about it. After all, no one else would be able to refine it, and he would be able to obtain 100 million jade money. The father and son duo of Fang Deki was so lucky, they probably wouldn't even need to compete to win. You bastard of a father and son, you've put on a good show. You all did it on purpose before. Yu Yan shouted in anger. When they thought about it, they could understand why. Previously, Fang Heng pretended to act that way in order to lure Chen Shang into a trap. Haha, Fang Heng laughed out loud. I remember that previously, he had only been below heaven stage, our Qiwan Dan was also below heaven stage, and it was very precious. After eating the Dao Yuan realm, it could increase the power of Dao origin, although the difficulty is great, but it sold for a high price, it is worth it for him to buy it for 100 million, it is definitely not a loss. Chen Shang was very calm, and asked, so, if I win, I can sell this kind of pill. Won't your Fang family interfere? Quote, this is our gift to you. If you really can refine it, we will not interfere. What, you want to try it? Fang Heng laughed coldly. It's all right, without our Fang family's special mystical powers, you won't be able to refine it. No, even my master cannot succeed, you can't not ask Chu Hongqing. Quote, it's true, Chu Hongqing understood this the best. Even the few she was familiar with did not succeed. Rules. Chen Shang did not care about this, he just wanted to give it a try. I will only give you 3 sets of medicinal herbs within the 6 hours limit. If you fail, it will be considered your loss. As for me, I can only use 3 sets of ingredients at most. Victory and defeat will determine the quantity and quality of the pills. Fang Heng said, he had already thought that Chen Shang would definitely lose, so Chen Shang could only struggle out of nowhere. Even Chu Hongqing and the others did not think highly of Chen Shang, because they had been in the Fire Dao Divine place for so many years, so they understood this very well. Alright, Chen Shang was extremely confident, everyone thought that he was that confident because he did not know much about Qiwan Dan. You'll know in a moment. Fang Heng laughed and took out a black pill furnace. Chen Shang still used Chu Hongqing's pill furnace. After inspecting the other party's ingredients and pill furnaces, the competition immediately began. Chen Shang was not too worried about that strange god power, because he only cultivated 6 god power, and it contained all the power of the heavenly Dao. There are 10 stages to the Dao Ti realm. Refining this kind of pill requires Daoyuan immortal power. I don't have it right now. This point that Chen Shang was more worried about. He had already seen the pill formula before. It was clear to him that it required Daoyuan immortal power to be injected during the process of condensing the pill. That was the most crucial point. Hongqing, what's the condition of the Daoyuan immortal power? Chen Shang whispered to Chu Hongqing. When one's Dao body reaches the peak of its power, their powers will be channeled into a powerful Dao body, which is a type of power that can only be activated by powerful Dao body. Normally, one would only be able to attempt it once they have reached the 10th stage of the Dao Ti realm, and once they succeed, they will be able to enter the Daoyuan realm. Chu Hongqing said. So, the lightning dragon eagle's flesh also contains this kind of Daoyuan immortal power? Chen Shang asked. That's right, the lightning dragon eagle are all savage beasts from the Daoyuan realm. Chu Hongqing replied. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, because this was a huge problem for him. But now, he felt that it was nothing. Young Master Fang, I'm not at the Daoyuan realm yet. Can I add some other materials into the mix? Chen Shang asked. Do you want to add the meat of a savage beast? Of course you can, but you won't succeed. Fang Heng said. You just need to refine the Qiwan Dan yourself, adding anything else is fine. Chapter 2388, Creation of Myth. Chen Shang smiled faintly. With so many people watching here, I'm not afraid that you will go back on your words. C2388. When Fang Heng heard that Chen Shang wanted to add something, he knew what Chen Shang was thinking. The reason why he usually added meat from a savage beast into his pill was to allow the pill to produce this kind of Daoyuan immortal power. Since he could join, Chen Shang had nothing to worry about right now. He believed that he would definitely succeed. Let's begin, Fang Daqi said. Everyone present thought that Chen Shang would not succeed, especially the Fang family's father and son, because they understood the Qiwan Dan very well. Now that LV Ying and Chu Hongqing were so confident, they could only hope that Chen Shang really had a way to concoct the pill. Qiwan Dan were also very expensive, because in the entire Fire Dao Divine Place, only the Fang family could refine such a pill. Furthermore, the usage of the pill was not small, and to cultivators in the Daoyuan realm, the use of the pill was extremely important. If enough jade money could buy such a pill, it would only be a matter of time before they surpass the Daoyuan realm. From the very beginning, Fang Heng's speed was extremely fast. After handling the medicinal herbs and releasing the flames, he completed it in a single breath in a few blinks of an eye. Fang Heng's level was originally very high. After all, he was a disciple of the Fire Reverend school leader and a young master of the Fang family. It would be strange if he did not have such a level of skill. Chen Shang was the same as usual. When refining this kind of strange pill, he would observe his opponent first. This way, he could have a direction to go. Qiwan Dan did not require much medicinal ingredients, but the conditions to refine it were extremely harsh. This medicinal formula was created by the Fang family's ancestors, so only members of the Fang family could refine it. Chen Shang carefully observed Fang Heng's pill furnace and used the Dao Hard Eye to look at it. Chen Shang stared at his pill furnace without blinking, making him feel uncomfortable, as if he had been spied on. After observing for a while, Chen Shang realized that Fang Heng had released an extremely strong flame from the very beginning, which then gradually weakened. The time it takes to refine this kind of pill should be very short. Chen Shang was also prepared to start concocting. He looked at the herbs in the jade box. There were 3 of them in each, a black bean, a white flower and finally a golden fruit. He did not know what kind of ingredients those were, but he would send a sound transmission to Chu Hongqing. Did not know either, so it could be seen that the Fang family was extremely well prepared in this area. If the concoction is successful, the Fang clan will definitely take back the remaining medicinal materials. Chen Shang thought that if he were to succeed after only using 1 portion of the ingredients, there would be 2 more left. In order to prevent him from bringing them back for planting, the Fang family would definitely take them all back. Therefore, the first thing he would do next was to secretly hide a copy. Finally, everyone saw Chen Shang start to concoct pills, just like how Fang Heng did. He tidied up the ingredients and then placed them into the pill furnace. At this time, Chen Shang had also secretly circulated his power, transferring the medicinal ingredients that had been put into the furnace into the ring, and then condensed a ball of violent fire into the furnace. He purposely waited for a moment before he detonated the ball of fire. Boom! The furnace released a muffled sound, causing Chen Shang to purposely sigh. The furnace exploded. This was the reaction of everyone, but everyone felt that it was normal, since even fire reverent school leader would not be able to succeed, let alone a boy that had not cultivated for long. Seeing Chen Zhang's explosion, Fang Heng and his father looked at each other and laughed. They had already expected this to happen. Chen Shang had purposely made it for the sake of transferring the medicinal ingredients to him for him to copy later on. Now, he was truly going to start concocting the pills. He still had 2 more medicinal herbs. If he didn't succeed, he would lose 100 million. Chen Shang placed the second batch of ingredients into the furnace and released the flame. He then started to refine the ingredients extremely carefully. When he was refining medicinal ingredients that he had never refined before, he usually needed the shortest amount of time to understand the special characteristics of these medicinal ingredients and use a very gentle flame. Otherwise, if the medicinal ingredients were too violent in the beginning and too fragile, they would be burnt. Chen Shang had conducted many such competitions before, so he had a lot of experience, and he did not plan to succeed this round, because he wanted to understand the characteristics of the 3 medicinal ingredients thoroughly before he could proceed to the final stage of core formation. These ingredients are all relatively soft. Too strong of a flame can be instantly burnt to ashes. Looks like it's the same as the bone-level fruit, it needs to be refined with water and fire. Chen Shang had comprehended many different methods from the heavenly alchemy. He could use different methods to refine the ingredients according to their condition. After a short period of purification, he was able to immediately determine the characteristics of the 3 medicinal ingredients in the furnace. Then, he used the 6 realms power to condense a liquid and pour it into the furnace, soaking the 3 medicinal ingredients. I wonder if the 6 realms power can replace the Fang family's mysterious powers. Chen Shang didn't dare to be sure now, so he could only try it out. These medicinal ingredients were all low-grade heaven-ranked medicine, so they were relatively easy to refine. In just an hour's time, Chen Shang had completely refined all of them. Inside the pill furnace, the 3 spheres of black and white gold were submerged in the water. These were 3 medicinal liquids. Chen Shang used his divine power to gather the 3 liquids together, but he was unable to succeed. When the 3 medicinal liquids merged together, they all had a very peculiar reaction. It was just that they overlapped together, but they were incompatible. If one withdrew their divine force, the overlapping medicinal liquids would once again run out and form the 3 original lumps. I should first put it into the savage beast meat. Chen Shang tried a few times but all was the same. He then threw in a large amount of beast meat. Seeing that Chen Shang had added something, and had a serious expression, Fang Heng was secretly pleased. At this time, he could guess the problem Chen Shang was facing, because other than the Fang family, the problems he had in the alchemist were all the same. Adding flesh and blood is useless. I heard that fire reverent school leader tried to join hundreds of different kinds of flesh and blood but failed. Quote, many of his old alchemists have tried hundreds of times, but none of them succeeded. And now, he has 2 more chances. In order to prove the uniqueness of the Qiwan Dan, the Fang family distributed medicine everywhere and even organized a large assembly for the alchemist to refine. That's right, the Qiwan Dan has also become famous because of this. Chen Shang also learned from the discussions of the crowd how the Qiwan Dan became famous. At this point in time, he had already refined the savage beast's flesh and split it into 3 equal groups, merging them into the 3 medicinal liquids. The process of fusing them was extremely smooth. After completely fusing them, Chen Shang once again tried to fuse the 3 clumps of medicinal liquid. However, they still did not succeed. The 3 medicinal liquids could converge but not fuse together, and once they retracted their powers, they would immediately separate. When they squeezed the 3 medicinal liquids together, it would also be very easy, and they would not need any divine powers. Chen Shang finally understood that in order to fuse the 3 medicinal liquids together, he would have to use the Fang family's unique divine power. What kind of divine power is this? Chen Shang used the Dao Hard Eye to look at Fang Heng's furnace. He used water and fire refinement to refine all the medicinal ingredients extremely quickly. Although he had observed for a while, in the end, he still caught up to Fang Heng. At this time, Fang Heng had also made progress. Using the Dao Hard Eye, he could see that there were 3 batches of medicinal liquid slowly gathering in Fang Heng's pill furnace. Is that the mysterious god ability? Chen Shang looked carefully, and noticed that it was a light red light, and in order to look more carefully, he even stealthily released a bit of his divine soul and used the power of space to infiltrate it. His wisp of divine soul was extremely weak and would not disturb Fang Heng from concocting pills, but it would let him understand the situation inside the opposing party's furnace more clearly. Chen Shang was ecstatic. He suddenly understood why the 3 clumps of medicinal liquid required the so-called mysterious god power to gather together. The strange divine power that Fang Heng was using was the counter-power that he was very familiar with. For some reason, the 3 medicinal liquids were mutually exclusive. No matter what, they could not be fused. However, if they were to use counter-power, they would initially reject each other, and they would then become attracted to each other. Haha, I understand. Chen Shang was ecstatic. He did not think that it would be so easy to overcome this difficulty. It did not even require a bit of effort. Although he was happy, he still had doubts in his heart. Why does the Fang family know about this counter-power? He urged the counter-power in his body to enter the 3 lumps of medicinal liquid. As expected, the 3 lumps of medicinal liquid did not need him to condense them. They all sucked on each other, gathering together with confidence. The moment it gathered, Chen Shang felt a very violent power. At the same time, it also erupted with a strong white light, causing the pill furnace to shake violently. Boom! Chen Shang did not expect such a sudden change. Before he even had the chance to control it, the ball of liquid medicine that had just merged burst open. The furnace exploded again. No one was surprised at all. Fang Heng even revealed a smile, although he had seen too much of this kind of thing, but seeing that Chen Shang had gone crazy with happiness, he was extremely happy in his heart. Chu Hongqing could only sigh. Now that Chen Shang only had one chance, if he failed again, in the period of time that he had left, he would have to help the Fang family refine Yaozdan. It had only been an hour, and under normal circumstances, it would take at least 2 hours for a Fang family disciple to refine a cauldron of Qiwandan. Everyone felt that Chen Shang would lose in less than 2 hours. Chen Shang was thinking about why the furnace had exploded just now, and the replayed sequence of events continuously replayed in his mind. He slowed down the process and carefully analyzed it, in order to find out the reason. The time limit was 6 hours, which was still more than enough for Chen Shang. Unknowingly, Chen Shang had already pondered for more than an hour. At this time, Fang Heng also opened his pill furnace and took out 2 Qiwandan. Their quality was top-notch. All of the alchemists present were full of envy. They all knew that the value of this Qiwandan was much higher than that Yaozdan. Chen Shang also looked at Fang Heng's Qiwandan. It was white. He felt that he was about to succeed too. He could already gather all of them, but he did not know what went wrong. Chen Shang only had a portion of medicinal ingredients left, and seeing that he was still thinking, everyone started to urge him. Hurry up and start, or you can just admit defeat and dilly-dally. A pointless struggle. Can't do it. It's normal that you can't do it. No one will laugh at you. It's not a bad thing for young people to fall down a lot. Quote. Chen Shang suddenly said, I can refine 10 Yaozdan in one furnace, but Fire Reverend School Leader cannot. So what he can't do, it's not necessarily something I can't do either. Quote. Chen Zhang's words made him speechless. He was right, because it was not luck but strength that allowed him to concoct 10 Yaozdan in one go. He definitely had a very unique pill refining technique, which was why he was able to reach such shocking levels. Yu Yan said, Fang Heng being able to refine Qiwandan is not that amazing. Even the Fang family knows how to refine. They can't possibly just say that he has good pill refining skills, right? Even the Fire Reverend School Leader could not refine Qiwandan. Could it be that Fang Heng was stronger than the Fire Reverend School Leader? Fang Heng only did so because he possessed the special power of the Fang family. Quote. But my younger brother Shen is different, because he succeeded under very fair conditions, not like Fang Heng, who relied on his own special kind of god power. And he has also refined Qiwandan for many years. Now that he has refined too, he is full of pride. I really can't see what's so special about him. His ability is just that. Fang Heng was so angry that his face was flushed red. He was, after all, a small celebrity, yet he was belittled in front of so many people. Furthermore, he did not know how to refute, as it was equivalent to slapping his face. What is it? Are you unconvinced? Even if younger brother Shen loses, it's just because he was tricked by you and your father. Although you guys won, other than obtaining the 100 million jade money, are you guys trying to touch your own conscience and ask yourself, did you win in terms of glory? Right, you all should have no conscience, right? Quote. Many people immediately cheered for Yu Yan's words. After all, the Fang family's father and son were intentionally scammed by Chen Shang, and at this moment, even the Fang family's father and son did not say anything. If my younger brother Shen knew how to use your strange Dao powers, this Qiuandan would definitely be able to refine 4 pills. Yu Yan said again. He was cheering for Chen Shang, but at the same time, it was because he was feeling displeased when he saw how pleased Fang Heng was with himself. Chen Shang suddenly laughed. No, I think I can at least refine 5 pills. Fang Heng snorted. Then you must at least refine 1. Our Fang family's ancestors can only refine 3 pills at most, and not a single one of them can be refined by the Fang family. What is it? Shall we add some stakes now? Chen Shang laughed. If he was a person who was familiar with Chen Shang, he would have rejected him immediately. All those years ago, Chen Shang had tricked many people. It was just that no one here knew that Chen Shang had once used such underhanded methods on the dead, and that this was one of his most common moves. Do you really think you can refine it? You've failed twice. Before Fang Heng could finish, Chen Shang interrupted him and said, with the 200 million jade money, do you dare? Fang Heng looked at Fang Daqi, and this was decided by his father, who also hesitated for a moment before saying, all right, let's go. I want to see how you refine 5 Qiuandan. If you can really refine it, then I will spend money to broaden my horizons. Quote. Right now, Chen Shang was full of confidence. He had already found 2 mistakes. The first one was that he had used too many counter power. Everyone took a deep breath. They could not see what Chen Shang was doing, and actually raised the stakes. No matter how they looked at it, it did not seem like he had the upper hand. At the same time that Chu Hongqing was shocked, she was also thinking. She knew that Chen Shang would never do something so foolish. It was just like how she lost to Chen Shang previously. At that time, Chen Shang looked like a fool to many people, but later on, Chen Shang used his own strength to prove that they were the fools. Previously, when he observed Fang Heng refining the pellets, Fang Heng's counter power was extremely dim, which meant that he did not use it much. However, he had used up a lot of it himself. He continued to pour the medicinal essences into the 3 clumps, causing them to create a strong suction force during the instant of fusion. It was as if the 3 clumps of medicinal essences were clashing against each other. The second point was that the timing of placing the savage beast meat inside was wrong. According to the pill formula, only when a savage beast meat was condensed can it be placed inside. Of course, the recipe required Daoyuan immortal power when concocting a pill. He did not have a Daoyuan immortal power, so he could only use the flesh of a savage beast to replace it. Due to the 3 lumps of medicinal liquid being unable to fuse with him, he had added the flesh of the savage beast earlier. That was why the instant the 3 lumps of medicinal liquid possessing great Daoyuan immortal power collided with each other during the fusion, a violent explosion occurred, catching him off guard. After Chen Shang found a place to concoct the pill, he was able to avoid it, and now he was going to concoct it again. Fang Heng had already finished refining the pill. He stood beside his father and looked at Chen Shang together. Although they looked extremely confident, they were secretly worried in their hearts. Just now, Chen Shang suddenly raised the bet by 100 million, there must be some reason why he was so confident. At this moment, Chen Shang was also secretly on guard against this pair of father and son. Previously, when he was competing with Lan Taoshan to refine Yaozdan, Fang Heng had secretly disturbed him, so he was extremely wary of Fang Heng. Very quickly, he refined the 3 types of medicinal herbs into a medicinal liquid. He released a very weak trace of counter power, and then, he controlled this sliver of counter power to pierce through the 3 medicinal liquids like a rope. The moment it passed through, the 3 clumps of medicinal liquid automatically fused together. The fusion speed was relatively slow, and wasn't as sudden as before. This was closely related to the degree of using the counter power, proving Chen Zhang's speculation. Not long after, the 3 blobs of medicinal liquid successfully fused together, turning into a ball of white medicinal liquid. By now, it was about time to form a pill. It's going rather well. Don't make any more mistakes. Chen Shang took out the lightning dragon eagle's meat and placed a lot of it inside, because he wanted to condense 5 pills. The process of him refining the flesh of the savage beast into a Daoyuan immortal power and then controlling that strand of Daoyuan immortal power to merge it with the medicinal liquid was extremely smooth. Seeing Chen Zhang's steady progress, Fang Heng and his father became even more worried. If they lost, they would need to give Chen Shang 200 million jade money. Although Fang Daqi was a high-ranking member of the Fang family, it was still very difficult for him to take out 200 million jade money. he could only take them from the entire Fang family's native bank. Fang Daqi suddenly sent a sound transmission to Fang Heng, telling him to disrupt Chen Zhang's rhythm. As long as Chen Shang failed this round, they could win. Chen Shang wanted to split the medicinal liquid into 5 parts, but suddenly felt a weak force approaching him. He immediately released a spatial barrier that covered the entire pill furnace. This bastard, he really did it. HMPH, no matter what happens, you will lose for sure. Chen Shang was secretly angered in his heart. If not for the current situation, based on his temper, he would have ignored the consequences and fiercely beaten Fang Heng up first. After Fang Heng tried a few times, but he didn't know why the energy he released couldn't enter Chen Zhang's pill furnace. He slightly frowned, then sent a sound transmission to his father, asking him to make a move. Chen Shang immediately sent a sound transmission to Chu Hongqing. That bastard wants to disturb me again. It was that son of mine who did it, and he did not succeed. The next step is for his father to take action, go and distract them. Was not surprised at all when she found out that Fang Heng had disturbed her ability in concocting pills. He had told her about it before, and Fang Heng was not a good person either. Chu Hongqing immediately walked over to the father and son pair and laughed. If you father and son lose, will the Fang family be willing to offer these 200 million jade money? What if the Fang family doesn't come? Can you father and son afford it? Quote. Fang Daqi was about to attack, but Chu Hongqing suddenly blocked in front of him, and at the same time, Chen Shang split the medicinal liquid into 5 groups and started to condense the pill. You don't have to worry about that. The credibility of our Fang family is known to the entire Fire Dao Divine Place. Fang Daqi said. Is that so? Although I know the Fang family's reputation, I'm a bit worried because your Fang family has never encountered such a thing. Chu Hongqing laughed. Fang Daqi was a little angry. You guys can talk after you win. Chu Hongqing chuckled. We will win very soon. I am only here to inform you all to prepare. Chen Shang was already at the core formation stage, and it would be completed very soon, so Chu Hongqing had returned to Yu Yan's side. Fang Daqi and Fang Heng were currently trembling in fear, because Chen Shang had been so calm for so long, which made them feel extremely uneasy. After a while, Chen Shang opened his eyes and exhaled. I succeeded, this Qiwandan is only so-so. Just as Fang Heng wanted to say something, Chen Shang suddenly opened the pill furnace, and then controlled the 5 snow-white Qiwandan to float within the furnace. These Qiwandan were shining with a layer of white light, because the quality had already reached the peak. The quality of the Qiwandan he refined, was much better than Fang Heng's. Fang Heng and Fang Daqi, the father and son pair, were both stupefied. Their faces were filled with disbelief as all sorts of complicated emotions surged in their hearts: anger, jealousy, fear, and unwillingness. The great hall was extremely quiet, as they stared at the 5 Qiwandan floating above Chen Zhang's pill furnace with stupefied expressions. The legend of only the Fang family being able to refine Qiwandan was broken. Furthermore, the Fang family could only refine 3 pellets at most, but Chen Shang could actually refine 5. The quiet great hall was broken by Yu Yan's loud laughter. Did you see that? Younger brother Shen succeeded. The Qiwandan is not only something that your Fang family can refine, the younger brother Shen can also successfully refine it, and it will be much better than what you can refine. Quote. LV Ying took in a deep breath and walked over, then looked at the Qiwandan up close. Chu Hongqing knew that Chen Shang could succeed, but she still felt very surprised, but she quickly adapted to it. She smiled and said, you have lost 200 million jade money, quickly take it out. Chapter 2389, C2389. C2389. Fang Daqi looked at the crowd. He knew that if he reneged on the debt, it would definitely affect the Fang family's reputation, and he didn't have that many jade money in his hands. I'll have someone send it over right away. Fang Daqi said in a heavy voice. He had already thought of a way to convince the Fang family, and he himself would have to sacrifice a lot of things in order to obtain these 200 million jade money. Fang Daqi took out the communication jade symbol paper and passed the news back to the Fang family. For him to be so sure that the Fang family would deliver this information, it must be because of some exchange, since he also had a high position in the family. After the Fang family found out about this, the entire Fang family was shocked. The Heavenly Dao auction held by the Fire Reverend School had already gathered many powers, so it was spread very quickly. Basically, the big families of the Fire Dao Divine Place knew about it, and while they were shocked, they also took pleasure in it. Although these families had a good relationship on the surface, there were quite a few conflicts in the dark. This competition caused Chen Zhang's reputation to once again reach a new height. Chen Shang had long since gotten used to it, but what made him excited was that he had obtained the Qiwandan's pill formula. In the future, he would be able to refine these Qiwandan and earn a large amount of jade money. Right now, Chen Shang also did not know what to do with the 200 million jade money. Very quickly, an old man walked in and handed Fang Daqi a storage bag. Although he did not say anything, he must have talked to Fang Daqi secretly. Fang Daqi took out 20 jade plates from the storage bag and said, "Although these are not jade money, but you can exchange for jade money from the 3 great native banks of Fire Dao Divine Place." Chen Shang took the jade plates and looked at them. These were all specially made jade plates and were hard to copy. One was worth 10 million jade money and the other 20 were worth 200 million. It's true. Chu Hongqing took it and looked at it, and said, "Hongqing, when you have time, take it out and trade it with the native bank." Chen Shang said, then he handed over all the jade slips in his hands to Chu Hongqing. By giving the jade money to his servant so casually, it could be seen how good of a relationship Chen Shang had with Chu Hongqing, but thinking about it, it was pretty normal. After all, they only had the master-servant contract, so Chu Hongqing did not dare to betray Chen Shang. Fang Daqi had calmed down as well. What made him puzzled was how Chen Shang was able to refine Qiwandan, and even 5 of them. The most important thing about Qiwandan was their Fang family's mysterious Dao divine powers. Only by cultivating their Fang family's special techniques could they condense them. Fang Daqi couldn't understand, so he could only find out by asking. "You haven't reached the Dao Yuan realm, and don't have it, but you can use the flesh of a savage beast instead. However, you can't use the mysterious Dao's divine power, so how did you do it?" Fang Daqi asked. Right now, he had more than just losing 200 million jade money. If he really lost these jade money, he wouldn't have to worry about it. However, he allowed the Fang family's Qiwandan's pill formula, which they had earned so many years, to leak out, and this was what he was more worried about. If the Fang family's elders were to blame him, he would definitely receive a heavy punishment. "I don't know, I just used my alchemy skills to solve the problem." Chen Shang smiled faintly. He guessed that the Fang family's grasp of the counter power was not very high, it was only a little bit. In terms of refining pills, that was enough. He had devoured many counter powers, so he could cultivate on his own. His body had also merged with the counter power, and if he needed, he could transform the 6 realms power into a counter power. Seeing Chen Shang being so proud, Fang Heng felt upset. Especially when he remembered that Chen Shang not only had a delicate Chu Hongqing by his side, but he had also won over 200 million of their jade money and even obtained the Qiwandan medicinal formula. He was so angry that he wanted to spurt blood. "Don't be happy too early, be careful," Fang Heng said in a low voice. "What? I defeated your jade money, but you all still want to take revenge on me? Is that what the #1 Dao family in Fire Dao Divine Place is like?" Chen Shang sneered. "HMPH, I told you to be careful and not sell your Qiwandan without permission, or else you will have to bear the consequences." Fang Heng wanted to say more, but was pulled out of the shop by Fang Daqi. Qiwandan was a pill that allowed the Fang family to earn many jade money over the years. The reason the Fang family was able to become the #1 family in Fire Dao Divine Place was all because of this Qiwandan. The Qiwandan was only known to be refined by the Fang family, and although their uses were great and their prices were expensive, there were still many people who bought them. Currently, there were already people who could refine them, and if the price was lowered, it would definitely affect the Fang family's Qiwandan sales. What's going on with the Fang family? Didn't that guy say it himself? "I can sell Qiwandan." Chen Shang shook his head and laughed. "Lad, if you really touch their interests, they will kill you even if they don't want your reputation." Yu Yan's face became gloomy. "Be careful." "I will." Chen Shang nodded, and then walked upstairs with Chu Hongqing. Although Chen Shang did not refine pills for him, but because Chen Shang was here, LV Ying's shop was extremely lively. This period of time was the best period of time for him to open the shop. Chen Shang sat on a chair and looked at the Qiwandan in his hands while grinning. "Hongqing, how many low-grade heaven stage Qiwandans are there?" "What about 1,000 jade money?" "It's quite expensive. It's the most expensive low-grade heaven-ranked pill." Chu Hongqing said. "You aren't thinking of selling the Qiwandan in bulk, are you?" 1,000 jade money was indeed very expensive. Chen Shang remembered that the difference between the two was huge for a Yaosh Dan of only 80. I don't have any plans yet. Let me use those 200 million jade money for a long time. Chen Shang laughed. Hongqing, eat one and see how my Qiwan Dan will compare to the Fang family's. You can tell that it's much better than the Fang family just by looking at it. If you want to sell it, you don't have to lower the price. It's even more popular than the Fang family's. Chu Hongqing said, and she ate one as well. As expected, it's much better. Usually, it's better to only eat the first 3 stages of Daoyuan realm. Chu Hongqing licked her lips, looking very charming. Chen Shang said, bring the jade money out, I'm worried that there might be some problems inside. Chu Hongqing said, you don't have to worry about that, the 3 great native banks are all very trustworthy, and if you put them in there, you will receive very good treatment when you go to the native bank. Chen Shang nodded his head, I will listen to you, Hongqing. I can now participate in the Heavenly Dao auction. Yu Yan had mentioned it to him before. Sure, leader said he won't make things difficult for you, you don't have to worry, with me here, he won't do anything to you. Chu Hongqing laughed. Oh yes, how did you refine a Qiwan Dan, you are truly too amazing. Back then, leader had closed up many times just to refine this Qiwan Dan, but he was unable to. You are truly a strange person, you can always do things that others cannot, and you can even do them very easily. Chapter 2390, C2390. C2390. Chen Shang trusted Chu Hongqing a lot, not only because he had his own master-servant contract, but also because of the feeling he had with Chu Hongqing. Therefore, he had decided to give Chu Hongqing a little gift as well. Hongqing, you must have refined Qiwan Dan many times. Chen Shang asked. Seeing Chu Hongqing nod his head, he asked again, are they all stuck at the stage where the 3 medicinal liquids are unable to fuse together? That's right, it's not just me, all of the other alchemists in the Fang family are unable to progress at this stage. The Fang family also told us that we need the Fang family's Dao spiritual force to reach that stage. Chu Hongqing said, leader has tried all kinds of methods, but to no avail. Chen Shang laughed. I coincidentally have the Fang family's so-called mysterious god force, that kind of power is indeed strange, and being called the mysterious god force is not an exaggeration. Back then, it was by chance that I obtained it. Chu Hongqing said in shock. So that's how it is, no wonder you succeeded, I thought it was because you used your powerful pill refining skills. Chen Shang chuckled, took out a transparent pearl and poured it inside the counter power. The pearl slowly turned red. If you leave the pearl, it will become transparent. If you fuse the blood with this pearl, even if that power leaves the pearl, you will be able to sense it, and you will also be able to control it. You only need to draw a little of it each time, and it will be enough for you to use the 3 globes of medicinal liquid. Chen Shang handed the pearl over to Chu Hongqing. Can I really refine it too? Chu Hongqing was ecstatic, and quickly took it. She was also an alchemist, if she could concoct a pill that she had not been able to concoct for many years, she would feel a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes, the alchemist did not refine pills for the sake of eating, but for the joy of producing pills, especially those that were extremely difficult to refine. Right, do you have any Qiwan Dan's medicinal ingredients? Chen Shang asked. In the past, the Fang family gave us quite a bit of money, but we've lost it all in these past few years, and the Fang family didn't give it back either. Now, if I go and ask them for it, they definitely won't give it back, and it seems like only the Fang family can grow those herbs. In the past, the Fang family gave us quite a bit of money, but we've lost all our money in these past years, and the Fang family hasn't given it back. Chu Hongqing said. You don't have to worry about that, I have a way. Chen Shang had already anticipated this problem, so he had pretended to fail before and moved the Qiwan Dan's ingredients away. The total life-killing divine deity of Chen Zhang's first and second divine sense C were about 200, and the purple pearls he condensed out also had a very strong replicating ability. He only used 10 life and death pearl to make a copy of the medicinal ingredients, and because there were 6 realms God cups present, he discovered that if he placed the purple pearls inside the 6 realms God cup for a period of time, the replicative ability would increase even more. Here, go and have a try. Chen Shang quickly copied a portion of it from the ring and gave it to Chu Hongqing. Where did you come from? The moment Chu Hongqing asked that question, he immediately thought of the first time Chen Shang detonated a furnace, and knew that it was Chen Shang who had moved it away at that time. Chu Hongqing received the medicinal ingredients and smiled coquettishly. No matter how I look at it, you don't look like an inexperienced brat from the depths of the mountains. You look like a cunning fox. Chen Shang laughed, and pinched Chu Hongqing's jade face. You can finally see it, you're still young in my eyes, little girl. From the moment the Fang family's father and son were cheated so badly by Chen Shang, Chu Hongqing could already tell. I'm going to refine some pills. Chu Hongqing ran into the secret room. Chen Shang looked at the Qiwandan and said, are the Qiwandan useless against the Dao Ti realm? I'm now at the first level of the Dao body. He did not know a thing about cultivation in the heavenly Dao realm. When Chu Hongqing came out, he would ask him for some advice. More than 2 hours later, Chu Hongqing came out. Looking at her expression, one could tell that she had succeeded in refining it. She had refined it many times before, but all of them were stuck in one place. Now that she had passed that step, it was normal for her to succeed in one furnace. Success? Chen Shang asked with a smile. Yes, it's just that I only managed to refine 2 pills. Chu Hongqing passed Chen Shang 2 Qiwandan. There's a difference in quality. Of course, you're my servant girl. It's normal for there to be a gap between us. Chen Shang laughed. The heavenly law auction is about to begin. When the time comes, I will inform you to come, and if you go, it will only be to compete with those guys in refining pills, but I heard that the leader will especially change the rules for you. I am not very clear on the specifics, although this guy said that he won't make things difficult for you, but in his heart, he is still very unhappy with you. Chu Hongqing said, and poured Chen Shang a cup of tea. There's nothing to be afraid of. Chen Shang laughed. As long as you promise me that you won't kill me. Of course, I will die even if you die. Chu Hongqing laughed. Hongqing, I'm already at the first stage of the Dao body realm, what do I need to do next? I don't know much about this. Chen Shang said. Chu Hongqing was a little surprised. She thought Chen Shang was very good at cultivation, but didn't expect him to actually ask her. When I'm cultivating, it's basically the same as before. Cultivating 2 divine sense CS with a powerful fleshly body is basic. Other than this, the more difficult part is comprehending natural law principles. Chu Hongqing said, then opened up her jade palm, and 10 strange lines gradually appeared on her palm. If you gain enlightenment on a Dao mark, you will be able to obtain even more powerful Dao force, which is heavenly God's divine power. The owner has to use the divine sense C world to comprehend it for himself, which is when you step into the Dao Ti realm. Chu Hongqing said, stepping into the heavenly Dao realm, the use of cultivation techniques only increases the strength of one's physical body and powerful divine sense CS. Their physical bodies and divine sense C are strong enough, so comprehending Dao marks would be easier. Chen Shang held Chu Hongqing's jade hand. Looking at the 10 lines of marks on top that resembled spirit grain S, they indeed carried a certain charm within, and was naturally formed. What kind of law is this Dao mark? Chen Shang asked. These are all Dao marks of fire. When you use one Dao mark in battle, you will be able to release a very strong flame energy. If you combine the two, the power will be different and you will also be able to use different combinations of Dao marks to release different flame energy. Chu Hongqing said, my main task is to refine pills, so I have to go and comprehend the Dao mark of fire. You should also do the same. Probably. This was also the first time Chen Shang had seen this mark, and he felt that it was very mystical. Right now, he was not sure of the direction of his mark, because he would need to use spatial energy frequently. Chapter 2391, C2391. C2391. Chen Shang didn't even have a mark now, he didn't even know how to comprehend it now. Chu Hongqing's explanation was extremely vague, and he didn't really understand the process of comprehending it. Of course, Chu Hongqing himself wasn't very clear about it, as everyone's comprehension process was different. Hongqing, I don't even have a single trace of Dao. Am I a Dao Ti realm? Chen Shang asked. However, when you gain enlightenment on a Dao mark, you will be in the first stage of the Dao Ti realm. At that time, you will be able to understand the effects of the Dao mark better. Chu Hongqing said, your pill refining skills are so amazing, you must have been taught by your master, didn't he teach you how to cultivate? Chen Shang shook his head. I was the one who personally comprehended my pill refining skills, especially in the later stages, although I have a master, but I have long surpassed him, and will only tell me later when I have the chance. Chu Hongqing laughed tenderly, seems like your story is quite interesting. When I have the chance in the future to tell you about it, I will return to the Fire Reverence School first. After the Heaven's Path party, I can accompany you every day. Alright, do you want to register for the Heavenly Law auction or something? Chen Shang asked. Yes, if you wish to participate in the competition at the Heavenly Law auction, you will have to register. You have decided to participate? Chu Hongqing asked. Of course we want to participate. We won't lose anything, right? Chen Shang laughed. I won't lose anything. I'll help you register, and in 5 days, the pill refining competition will officially begin. As for whether or not it will start that day, I'm not sure. It was all arranged by the leader. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang went to participate in the pill refining competition because he wanted to see the standards of the Fire Dao Divine Place and see what kind of pills were available there. Chu Hongqing left the shop and went into the secret room to close up. He activated the alive slain method and focused on condensing the purple pearls. If only Yu and Shui Yi were here, they would have helped me cultivate the spirit seed in the ring. The effect would be even better if they used the 6 realms God Cup together with me. Chen Shang was already in the Heavenly Dao realm. If he did not want to participate in the Heavenly Law auction, he had to go back to look for LV Kilian and the others. He came outside to find Yu Yan. He wanted Yu Yan to help him with something, but when he asked around, he found out that Yu Yan and LV Ying had gone out to hunt savage beasts. Now that Chen Shang was this shop's guest, he asked the old man in charge of the shop and found out where LV Ying and the others were. Then, he left the city and went to the wilderness. When he left the city, he had already changed his appearance. Previously, he had defeated so many of the Fang family's jade money and even knew how to refine Qiuandan, so it was impossible for the Fang family to not have any thoughts towards him. Bright Moon Mountain. It sounds like a very beautiful mountain. Let's go and see what it looks like. Chen Shang heard from the old man in the shop that Yu Yan and LV Ying had gone to the Bright Moon Mountain. He was still rather far from Yuguang Mountain, but Chen Shang felt that it wasn't much. The power of space in his body had increased quite a bit. The distance he could teleport to was already much further. Just as he was about to teleport far away, he suddenly felt a huge change in the surrounding space. At the same time his expression changed, the sky suddenly turned black and the earth trembled. The surrounding space was warped and warped. Chen Shang was suppressed by a strong wave of energy to the point that he couldn't move. An expert was attacking him. No matter how much power Chen Shang used, he could not make himself move, nor could he teleport. The surrounding space was sealed by a strong force. Who is it? Chen Shang was sure that the person who attacked was very powerful. He immediately used the Dao Heart Eye and only saw 3 red blobs of human figures. Evil Spirit Race. He had a better understanding of the Evil Spirit Race now. Previously, when he looked at the invisible Evil Spirit Race with the Dao Heart Eye, it was all in this form. No, this is not Evil Spirit Race. Otherwise, Evil Spirit Race would have killed me long ago. Chen Shang only felt that he was sealed in a space and his surroundings became extremely dark. The ground that was shaking violently suddenly split open, and Chen Shang suddenly dropped into a crack that suddenly appeared. After a moment, the crack closed, and the heaven and earth returned to normal. It must be the Fang clan. Chen Shang lied on the ground, feeling that he was pressed down by something heavy and was unable to turn around. If they were to kill him, Chu Hongqing would also die, but Chu Hongqing had a huge background. If they found out that the Fang family had intentionally killed Chen Shang to kill him, the Fang family would definitely be in great trouble. That was why the Fang family did not kill Chen Shang, and only sealed him away. Kid, if not for the fact that you and Chu Hongqing had master-servant contract, you would have died a long time ago. The old voice transmitted into Chen Zhang's mind. This was just as he had guessed. It was indeed the Fang family's doing, and it was a very powerful one at that. It doesn't matter if you win against us 200 million jade money, but since you managed to refine a Qiuandan, we have no choice but to seal you up. The old man continued, don't worry, you won't die. You will be trapped under the earth by us and suppressed by the earth. After 100,000 years, you will dissipate. Chen Shang was furious, and asked, is it the Fire Reverend school leader who also supports you in attacking the Fang family, the Fang family that does not keep their word? I hope you guys can still do it after 100,000 years, that way I will have the chance to flatten your Fang family. Back then, Fang Deki had promised him that if he could refine a Qiuandan, he would be allowed to sell it himself. Don't you know that Chu Hongqing is a cauldron maintained by Supreme Flame's leader, that once Chu Hongqing's cultivation reaches a certain level, her yin energy will be harvested, and she will be able to help Supreme Flame cultivate his mystical technique. Your mental fortitude is not bad, and actually did not steal Chu Hongqing's body, but because of that you all will be able to keep your lives. If Chu Hongqing's body is taken away, we think that she has no value to Fire Sovereign, and you all will die without a doubt. Chen Shang scolded in his heart. Huo Zun actually had good intentions towards Chu Hongqing, he had to think of a way to get out of here. He treated Chu Hongqing as his own subordinate and could not let her become a cauldron. They were experts of the Fang family, and their relationship with the Fire Reverend school leader was very good as well. Even if Chen Shang did not leave the shop, they would think of a way to remove and seal Chen Shang. You bunch of bastards, you really look down on me, Chen Shang. Chen Shang had never feared someone with a strength that was 1,000 times stronger than his. The Six Realms mirrors should be able to help me leave, it's just that the Six Realms power is not enough yet, I can get some from the Divine Sense Sea. The Six Realms mirrors had long been placed in the Divine Sense Sea by Chen Shang, so as long as Chen Shang needed it, he could absorb the energy in the Divine Sense Sea at any time. I'll condense some violet beads during this period of time. When I get out, the first thing I'll do is knock down the Fang clan. Chen Shang planned in his heart. The Fang family was most afraid that his status as a Qiwandan would be threatened. If he refined a large amount of Qiwandan, it would definitely cause a great deal of damage to the Fang family. Chapter 2392, C2392. C2392. Chen Zhang's Six Realms mirrors contained all sorts of powerful formations, and many of them were naturally formed great formations. As long as one had enough energy to support them, they could release limitless amounts of power. I need to use the spatial array inside the Six Realms mirrors to stabilize the surrounding space. That way, I can teleport out. The seal that trapped Chen Shang released a strong interference force that caused ripples in the space around him. This force was strong enough to trap him here. 2 days later, Chen Zhang's Six Realms mirrors had already condensed enough Six Realms power, he was controlling the Six Realms mirrors to release the quantity of array magic power. The fluctuating space had calmed down, and in that moment of calmness, he channeled all the divine power in his body and teleported. In the blink of an eye, he was already on the ground. At this moment, it was already night time. Coming out from the darkness, he thought that he had failed. As expected, the Fang family's older generation all control extremely powerful counter-power. I wonder what kind of relationship they have with the evil spirit race. Chen Shang snickered in his heart. The evil spirit race at the time in the Star Law Divine Realm was developed from now onwards, he suspected that the Fang family was the ancestor of the evil spirit race. The Heavenly Law auction is going to start in 2 or 3 days. I can't use the name Chen Shang to attend it. Chen Shang thought that he had to attend the Heavenly Dao auction. How did those guys discover me? I used the transformation technique when I came out. Chen Shang was very confident in his transformation techniques, so he would definitely not be recognized by others. He was also worried about this matter. If his changing technique was seen through, then he wouldn't be able to participate in the Heavenly Law auction. Right, that old man. Chen Shang thought about the old man that he had questioned him about in the shop. Back then, LV Ying had told him that if there was anything he could ask the old man for when they were not around. This fellow purposely told me that Brother Yu and Boss Lu were at the Bright Moon Mountain and that there were people lying in ambush on this road. They would immediately attack when I arrived here. It's obvious from that seal that they won't be released in a short period of time. Chen Shang thought about this and was secretly worried about LV Ying and Yu Yan. That old man is someone that LV Ying trusts very much. He should be able to push LV Ying and Yu Yan away for a period of time without much difficulty. As long as I come out of seclusion and inquire about the whereabouts of LV Ying and Yu Yan, he would tell me that they are at Yu Mingshan. Truly impossible to guard against. Even if this guy sold me out, as long as I continue to be sealed, he would still be fine. Chen Shang laughed coldly in his heart. Now that he had come out, he definitely wouldn't let this old man who betrayed him go. As long as his transformation technique was not seen through, he had nothing to worry about. He turned into a refined middle-aged man and returned to the city, heading towards the Fire Reverend School. It was still not too late for him to register now. Chen Shang went to the registration location and used the pseudonym Yunfei to register. The registration was going to start in 2 days. He still had a few jade money on him, enough for him to stay in an inn. Right now, he had to condense more purple pearls and duplicate the Qiwandan's medicinal ingredients. Only then would he be able to get revenge against the Fang family. Brother Yu and Boss Lu are fine. So they went out to drink that day, but that old man actually tricked me out. Chen Shang cursed in his heart. I'll let you live for a while longer, you actually dared to plot against me. Hongqing said that she would come find me, so I'll wait for her at the shop. When the time comes, I'll directly get her into the ring. Chen Shang did not want Chu Hongqing to stay by Supreme Flame's side for too long, so he stayed close to LV Ying's shop to guard it. On the day of the Heaven's Path party, before the sky brightened, Chu Hongqing had already come. The door of the shop had not even been opened. She knocked on the door and entered the shop for a moment, frowning as she walked out, a look of worry on her face, because she already knew that Chen Shang had been gone for a few days and had not come back. The streets were quiet and there were not many people. Chu Hongqing sat on top of a carriage and looked out the window gloomily, because she and Chen Shang had already made an appointment, so she came today to bring him to the natural law divine realm. Just as she was sighing softly, Chen Shang teleported and appeared in her carriage. You are. Chu Hongqing saw an elegant middle-aged man suddenly appear in the carriage, and immediately became alarmed. She had only said 2 words, but they were already blocked by Chen Zhang's hand. It's me, Chen Shang told her. I am Chen Shang, I have met with big trouble, I can only appear like this, don't resist, I will bring you out of here. Chen Shang was worried that she would not believe him and change back to his appearance. Alright, Chu Hongqing relaxed his body and put her into the ring. Then, he teleported out of the carriage and returned to his own inn. What is this place, your divine sense sea world? Chu Hongqing saw that it was very beautiful with many flowers, herbs and fruit trees. Chu Hongqing liked it a lot, but other than these, there were also a lot of herbs. Of course, she was also infatuated with that exquisite palace. No, it's one of my storage magic treasure. Chen Shang said. Earlier, when I went out, I was ambushed by the Fang family's experts. What kind of earth seal did they use to seal me under? This. The earth seal is the Fang family's most famous seal, and it was even helped by Supreme Flame and leader himself back then. Chu Hongqing sighed. Sealing me is also related to your leader, do you believe me? Chen Shang said coldly. This guy is plotting against you. Chu Hongqing became silent. When Chen Shang told her about the seal on the ground, she knew that it must have something to do with Supreme Flame, or else the Fang family's people would definitely kill Chen Shang, and if they killed Chen Shang, she would also die. Hongqing, if I were to tell you that Leader Huo Zun views you as a cultivation furnace, would you believe me? Chen Shang said. He knew that Supreme Flame treated Chu Hongqing very well, and Chu Hongqing respected him a lot. Chu Hongqing wanted to say that she didn't believe it, but she wasn't sure now. Without saying a word, Chen Shang immediately used the soul-absorbing devil spell to extract a copy of the memories of the conversation he had with the Fang family warriors when he was sealed. These are my memory orbs. Take a look, Chen Shang said. He only wanted Chu Hongqing to know Supreme Flame's purpose for coming here. After Chu Hongqing received the letter and examined the memories inside, she could only let out a long sigh. It seemed that she had sensed the malicious intentions of Leader Huo Zun towards her before. Is there anything in Fire Reverent School that you can't let go of? Chen Shang asked. If you don't have it, then don't go back. No more. Chu Hongqing sighed. He has disappointed me so much. Chen Shang said. Luckily I realized it earlier, he is really unreliable. On the surface, he wanted to invite me to some heavenly Tao gathering, but he secretly schemed against me. Chapter 2393, C2393. C2393. Chu Hongqing could now be considered to have completely seen through Supreme Flame. If she did not still have use for him, then maybe he would have already been killed. First let me go out and change those jade plates into jade money s. They'll be ready soon, Chu Hongqing said. The native bank has already opened. Chen Shang nodded, then returned onto the carriage, allowing Chu Hongqing to come out. Very quickly, Chu Hongqing was able to exchange the jade money s from the native bank. After she returned to the carriage, she passed 200 million jade money to Chen Shang. There are at least 10 guys following you. Chen Shang whispered to her. Only 5 out of 10. Chu Hongqing said. She naturally knew that it was Leader Huo Zun who had sent her to monitor her. Chen Shang told her to enter the ring and teleported to the inn. The carriage was already empty. Are you still going to participate in the Heavenly Law auction? Chu Hongqing asked. Of course I'll participate. This is a good opportunity to study. Chen Shang said. Even if I am exposed, he can't possibly do something to me on the spot. Furthermore, they just used the Earth Seal once, so there won't be a second one anymore. I will also defend them, they won't be able to seal me that easily. Chu Hongqing laughed. You're really impressive, to be able to break through the earth seal and run out, you only have this much strength. She knew that Chen Shang didn't even have a single mark, and the frightening seal of the earth was actually unable to trap him. Hongqing, don't forget that I have a heavenly artifact. A mere seal won't be able to suppress me. Chen Shang laughed. Previously, he was still worried about not helping him with the cultivation of spirit seed, but now that Chu Hongqing was inside, he could help him with it. Chen Shang gave her a few purple pearls, then told her to throw the purple pearls inside the pond, and then use the water in the pond to water those spirit seeds. Those spirit seeds would then take root and grow spirit seedlings. What are the uses of these spirit seed? Chu Hongqing did what Chen Shang said once, and it was enough to reap the harvest. She asked again, and there's also that purple pearl, it seems to be able to increase the speed of growth a lot. Where did you get it from? Chen Shang was waiting for the sun to rise so that he could enter the Fire Reverent School to participate in the Heavenly Tao auction. The use of spirit seed is great, the main purpose of the purple pearl is to duplicate medicinal herbs. After that, Chen Shang gave 10 more purple pearl Chu Hongqing and told her in detail how to copy the medicinal ingredients. At the beginning, Chu Hongqing was very shocked and could not believe it. However, after trying it once, she had no choice but to believe it was real. Furthermore, Chen Shang even made her copy the Qiwan Dan's medicinal ingredients. Right now, I need 10 pearls before I can copy a portion of Qiwan Dan's medicinal ingredients. If I were to place the purple pearl in that cup and soak it for around a day, I would be able to duplicate a portion of the purple pearl. Chen Shang said. The 6 Realms God Cup was also inside Yuyao Palace. Yue had been doing it in the past. Chu Hongqing suddenly understood that this meant that Chen Shang would have an endless amount of ingredients, and adding in the speed at which he was refining the pills, even if it was just one person, he would be able to concoct a large amount of pills very quickly. If he was able to refine a large amount of Qiwan Dan, the Fang family would receive a huge blow. Your technique is quite mature. Just what did you do in the past? Chu Hongqing recovered from his shock and asked. In my world, I can be considered to be very strong. I think I should be a pill god. Chen Shang said. Later on, a group of villains appeared in my world, and we couldn't beat them, so we came here. Are there a lot of you? Chu Hongqing asked. Yeah, I will be going to look for them soon. They are now in a very safe place, so I will take you with me. Chen Shang said. Your foundation in pill refining is not bad, at that time I will let you learn pill refining from them. Chu Hongqing was secretly happy, she had long wanted to learn Chen Zhang's pill refining skills, she never thought that Chen Shang would be willing to teach her that so quickly. Do you have a lot of women? Chu Hongqing suddenly asked. Not much, Chen Shang laughed. Don't worry, they won't bully you. Among my women, there are 2 who are like you, both are my little maid. One is for refining pills, and the other is for concocting pills, both are very powerful. No wonder you're so capable of restraining yourself. So you actually possessed quite a few great beauties. Chu Hongqing scoffed, she had nothing to do in the ring as she focused on growing the spirit seed. Daybreak, Chen Shang saw a lot of people walking on the streets, walking out of the tavern and following a group of people heading towards Fire Reverent School. Hongqing, do you have dragons in the Fire Dao Divine Place? Chen Shang asked. He felt that a divine beast like a dragon that was blessed by the heavens should be the first to appear in any world. Of course there are. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a barbarian beast like the lightning dragon eagle. It's just that purebred dragons are very rare, and there are quite a few other hybrids. Chu Hongqing said. Why are you asking this? Dragons are very powerful, you can't be thinking of killing them and using them to concoct pills, right? Chen Shang laughed. Nope, I was just asking. In my world, there were many dragons, some were strong, and some were weak. I have killed many dragons when I was very young. I don't believe you. Chu Hongqing scoffed. Why would I lie to you? I have a wife who is a white dragon. She used to often stay in this ring. Chen Shang laughed. I still don't believe it, unless I see it with my own eyes. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang could tell from Chu Hongqing's reaction that all the dragons in the big chaotic times were very strong and had a lot of status. After all, this was the beginning of the world, unlike the later stages of the Star Law Divine Realm. Even in the Star Law Divine Realm era, dragons were pitifully few compared to humans, let alone now. Chen Shang had already entered the Fire Reverent School, and the interior was like a small town in a city. The construction was extremely grand, with many neat rows of houses. Right now, Chen Shang was going to the big plaza inside Fire Reverend School. In the front row of the big plaza, there were many big tables and comfortable chairs, which were all seats for the big families. Chen Shang saw Fang Heng and Fang Daqi, this father and son. I'll deal with these Fang family bastards sooner or later. Chen Shang was planning to deal with the Fang family, and then the Fire Reverend School. Through the special power of the Serene Jade Ring, Chu Hongqing could see things from the outer sect disciples, but they were not as straightforward as Chen Zhang's. She was only able to see things through a few crystal walls. There are really a lot of people. Chu Hongqing laughed. If I were here, I would be the one presiding over this gathering. It's always been like this in the past. That dogshit leader would definitely be extremely anxious if he can't find you. Haha, who asked him to seal me away? Chen Shang laughed. Chapter 2394, C2394. C2394. Chu Hongqing was one of the most important things to watch at this Heavenly Law auction, but it had not appeared for a long time. Chen Shang had already heard many people complaining. The person on the stage was a middle-aged man wearing a fiery red armor and a flaming cloak. He was tall, handsome, and had an imposing manner. This guy is Fire Reverend School of the Fire Reverend School? Chen Shang asked. It's him. This guy is really malicious. He actually had that kind of thought towards me. HMPH. At this time, this leader made Chu Hongqing feel extremely disgusted. A man said, how come it was Huang Tian who came out to preside over Hierarch Fire? The other person laughed. Holy Maiden Huo has already become someone else's female slave, of course she won't come out. That guy seems to be called Chen Shang. I heard that he is also here to participate in the Heavenly Law auction, but he hasn't seen him yet. Could he be missing? It's very possible that not only did this Chen Shang guy offend the Fire Reverend School, he also offended the Fang family, and even refined a Qiwan Dan that the Fang family relied on. It would be strange if he did not go missing. The disappearance of these people meant reprisal. Chen Shang smiled at Chu Hongqing. If even others know that the Fang family will make a move against me, then it seems that my disappearance is also a matter of course. Oh right, this leader's name is Huang Tian. Don't just look at how he is now. He is usually pretty arrogant, but his alchemy skills are pretty good. Chu Hongqing said. The moment Huang Tian walked up, he smiled and said a few polite words. At this moment, his smile was very unnatural. It was obvious that he was pretending. It was evident how much resentment he was holding in. Following that, an old man walked up and said a lot of nonsense. In the end, he introduced the main contents of the Heavenly Law auction. The Heavenly Law auction allowed the various powers in the Fire Dao Divine Place to exchange pointers, and at the same time, allowed many young rankers to shine here. Over the years, there had been many people who had gained fame during the Heavenly Dao auction. When Chen Shang participated in the registration for the Heavenly Dao auction, he had signed up for the pill refining competition. Chu Hongqing had told him before that not only would the young alchemist attend, there would also be some old alchemist lecturing on the spot. After hearing the old man's nonsense, the crowd dispersed. The vast plaza was divided into several regions. The first one to start was the area where the competition was held, and soon, there was a fight. Chen Shang had just stepped into the Heavenly Dao realm, so he had no interest in the pill refining competition. He headed to another area, which was filled with business, and the pill refining area was still in preparation. Huang Tian was walking around in a hall in the Fire Reverend School with a stern expression. There were 3 Fang family elders sitting in the hall, namely the elders who had sealed Chen Shang. Not long after, a young man walked in and said, before dawn this morning, she went to's shop, but she didn't wait for Chen Shang, and in the end she went to the Eternal Life Native Bank. I've asked around, and Chu Hongqing exchanged all the 200 million jade money that Chen Shang won from the Eternal Life Native Bank for her, and in the end she got into the carriage. Where's the carriage? Huang Tian asked. You guys couldn't have lost such a large carriage, right? The carriage is still at the entrance of the Eternal Life Native Bank, but she has disappeared. She must have used the transmission array plate to leave. The young man said. Go down, continue searching. Search through the entire Fire Dao Divine Place for her. Chu Hongqing was extremely important to him, but now he had gone missing. No matter how he looked at it, it looked as if he wanted to escape. With these 200 million jade money, it would be more than enough for Chu Hongqing to live an easy life. Huang Tian said. 3 Fang family elders, you are sure that Chen Shang was sealed? An old man said. Of course I'm sure, if the seal on the earth loosened, we would be able to feel it any time, but this Chen Shang just stepped into the Dao Ti realm, so using the seal to deal with him would be a waste. Then why did that girl, Chu Hongqing, sense that something was amiss? Huang Tian frowned. I pretended not to care about Chen Shang before and even invited Chen Shang to participate in the Heavenly Law auction. She shouldn't have any suspicions. It's possible that she had some sort of special connection with Chen Zhang's master-servant contract. If something happened to Chen Shang, she could feel it, so she hid away. An old man said, could it be that we made our move too early? She shouldn't be too far away. We'll use our greatest strength to look for her. Huang Tian said. The Chu Hongqing they were looking for was in Chen Zhang's ring, while Chen Shang was walking around the Fire Reverent School with a smile on his face. Why is the Eternal Life Native Bank selling things here too? Chen Shang saw a booth in the Eternal Life Native Bank and walked over. Today, Chu Hongqing was going to this native bank to retrieve the jade money, so he had a very deep impression of this native bank. Eternal Life Native Bank is one of the big powers within the Fire Dao Divine Place, even the Fire Reverent School doesn't dare to provoke them. It is said that when the Fire Dao Divine Place was just in its infancy, the three great native banks suddenly appeared. It is very mysterious. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang walked over to the booth and looked carefully, to see that Eternal Life Native Bank was actually gambling here. The main point of the bet was to bet on the victories and losses of the various competitions. Chen Shang looked at the form, seeing that Yun Fei was also on it. He asked the person in charge, can you suppress yourself? Of course you can. You have enough confidence to get rich enough. Do as you wish. The old man laughed. Oh, then how will this Yun Fei be pressured? Chen Shang asked. You are Yun Fei. He is participating in the pill refining competition, and he has participated in 3 pill refining competitions. If you bet on him, it would be 1, 2, 2, 1, 5, and 3, 110. The old man said. Don't tell me I'm not that popular. I lost so much in 3 consecutive victories. Chen Shang asked. You are just a nobody, of course you are. Those who are famous compensate very little. For example, even if you bet 3 consecutive victories on this Fang Hang, it would only be a loss of 3. The old man laughed. You're lucky. How much stronger are you? Chen Shang looked around and muttered. If I earn a lot, you guys won't be cheating, right? The old man became serious. The name of our Eternal Life Native Bank is there, how can you act shamelessly? Seeing such a bet, Chen Zhang's hands started to itch again, and said, if I bet on myself, can you keep quiet? I am very confident in myself, so I will bet a lot, and do not want others to know. No problem. The old man nodded. Our native bank will keep your secret. I bet 100 million. Chen Shang passed a storage bag to the old man. Count this. The old man was stunned as he received the storage bag. Then, he sucked in a breath of air. This brother, you're really confident in yourself. 100 million is 100 million. The one who won 3 rounds in a row. If I can really win 3, then I'll get 1 billion, right? Chen Shang asked. Chapter 2395, C2395. C2395. The old man from Eternal Life Native Bank suddenly felt that he had seen wrongly. If the other party really won 3 rounds in a row, they would lose a lot. Of course, their native bank could afford it. They had only come here to make a bet just to join in on the fun. No problem, I hope you can succeed. The old man took out a special jade slip. On it were some words. As long as you win, this jade slip will turn red, and you will be able to go to our native bank to obtain 1 billion jade money. Alright, Chen Shang grinned as he received it, and then continued to stroll around. He suddenly found the Fang family's stall. It was bustling with noise and excitement, and there were many Qiuandans placed around. In order to liven up the Heavenly Dao auction this time, our Fang family will bring out 10 high-grade heaven-ranked Qiuandan for auction. The one who spoke was Fang Deqi. Chen Shang looked around, then walked to a secluded area, quietly changed his appearance, and walked towards the Fang family's booth. That's right, he was going to look for trouble. The Fang family's elder had sealed him, and he was feeling extremely infuriated. You even want to auction a high-grade heaven step 1. Does your Fang family really think that you're the only ones who can refine Qiuandan? Chen Shang turned into an old man. He immediately shouted, your Fang family's Qiuandans should have their prices cut. There are people who are even better at refining now. On what basis are you selling it for so much? Many of the people who wanted to buy immediately suppressed the impulse to buy. Previously, they had heard that someone refined a Qiwan Dan, so they all felt that it was no longer unique to the Fang family, and that the Fang family shouldn't sell it so expensive. You don't know, although that Chen Shang can refine our Fang family's unique Qiwan Dan, he doesn't have any medicinal ingredients, and only our Fang family can grow medicinal ingredients. Fang Deki sneered. They were displeased that someone had come to provoke them, but today was a gathering of the heavens, so no matter how overbearing they were, they could not make a move against an old man in front of so many people. This is only your side of the story. I believe that not long from now, Chen Shang will be able to mass-produce Qiwan Dan. I heard that he was able to refine 5 pills in one go, and the quality is much better than yours. I think that you guys are worried that you won't be able to sell them in one go, which is why you're selling them here. Chen Shang said again. You must be here to cause trouble. Fang Deki shouted in anger. I just want to tell everyone to buy it after a while, so that they won't feel like they're losing something. Chen Shang laughed. I am just trying to help everyone conserve their jade money. As Chen Shang finished speaking, he squeezed through the crowd and quickly walked out of the Fire Reverence School. As expected, the Fang family sent a few people to follow him out. They were all young people, and could easily tell that they were members of the Fang family's younger generation. Chen Shang ran to the edge of the city, where he found a small forest. After entering, he sneered, You have followed me for so long, what is your goal? Old man, are you purposefully making life difficult for our Fang family? Or was he tired of living? You actually dared to find trouble with us. Quote. Look at your strength, you really don't know your place. Chen Shang said. I thought that your Fang family was fair and square. I never thought that you would actually do such a small thing. You are here to take revenge on me. If you guys have the guts, then kill him, or else I'll reveal what happened to your Fang family today. Haha, who would believe your lies? Go to hell, old fellow. A man rushed forward. Chen Shang teleported behind the man. The heavenly magic sword appeared out of nowhere and slashed at the man's neck, easily decapitating him. After that, he released 2 spatial bind and entangled the 2 men. Then, he instantly teleported over and swung his sword to kill them. After killing them, Chen Shang plundered their belongings, threw their corpses into the Chuangshi God furnace and burned them away, then left them far away and returned back to Yunfei, the middle-aged man. You, killing people is really fast. Those 3 fellows from before had quite a high status. From their clothes, you can tell that they must have come here with their elders to broaden their horizons. I didn't expect you to kill them. Chu Hongqing laughed. Chen Zhang's methods were truly admirable to her, especially her change in technique and her ability to conceal herself. If I had enough strength, I would definitely flatten the Fang family right now. Chen Shang sighed helplessly. After the heavenly Dao meet ends, I'll go take a look around the Fang family's vicinity. I definitely won't let them off so easily. You actually want to seal me. As members of the Fang family, everyone had a life orb within their clan. If they died, the life orb would have a huge reaction, and the 3 young men's life orbs would have shattered. This matter was quickly made known to the elders of the Fang family who were participating in the Heavenly Law auction, especially Fang Deki. Chen Shang quietly observed Fang Deki from afar. Seeing Fang Deki's pale face, he knew that one of the 3 young men he had killed just now definitely had an incredible background. This guy is quite stupid. Those youngsters' strengths are so weak, yet he actually sent them to kill people. Isn't that just asking for it? Chen Shang snickered. Looks like the Fang family won't be able to participate in this Heavenly Law auction happily. Chu Hongqing said. They must be the descendants of people with status. HMPH, those 3 fellows wanted to kill me. Furthermore, I have a grudge with the Fang family. I deserve it if I die. When Chen Shang thought back to how he was mercilessly sealed by the Fang family, he could not help but feel infuriated. The Heavenly Dao auction was very lively. There were many booths, all sorts of things, all sorts of battles, with only a few competitions, such as strength, fire, cold power, speed, thunder power and so on. It caused the entire plaza to be very noisy. There's a stall over there. It's said that as long as we detoxify the person inside the ice coffin, we'll be able to obtain 2 billion jade money. Really? Just what kind of poison is this? It's so strong. Quote. I don't know. Let's go take a look. In the past, Chen Shang was already considered a poison expert, but of course, his ability at detoxification was also very strong. He immediately went over to see if he could earn 2 billion. After going over, Chen Shang saw a crystal ice coffin on the ground. Inside laid a handsome middle-aged man, and a woman in white sat beside him. Her head was slightly lowered, and she looked a little shy. Although many people were looking at this woman, they didn't dare to look at her. This was because they could feel an extremely powerful aura emanating from this woman. She possessed a terrifying strength. The white-clothed female slightly raised her head, glanced at Chen Shang, and then lowered her head. Her self-control was excellent. If not for the fact that Chen Shang had such an opinion, she would have exploded long ago. Chapter 2396, C2396. C2396. One of them patted Chen Zhang's shoulders and said, "Brother, are you here to cure the poison or to visit the other party? You're too rude." Quote. Chen Shang laughed, "About that. I'm here for the antidote, so I need to take a closer look." Quote. That person said, "But the place you're looking at isn't right." Chen Shang was too lazy to talk with him. This person only wanted to show off for the girl, but everyone present was blaming him for being too rude to such a pitiful girl. The last time you saw me, it was the same. Do you even have to think this way when you see beautiful women?" Chu Hongqing giggled. "You see, you must have gotten into trouble." "What do you know? This woman is a dragon. If my guess is not wrong, then the middle-aged man lying in the coffin is also a dragon." Chen Shang said. "Really?" Chu Hongqing said in shock. "How did you notice?" "That's because you haven't seen dragons before, so you don't know their aura." Chen Shang said, "But I'm very familiar with them, so I can tell." "How familiar? Why can't the people here tell this is a dragon from its aura?" Chu Hongqing asked. "I've even been on the dragon many times. Do you think I'm familiar with it?" Chen Shang really understood dragons very well. Long Shui had slapped him many times already. The woman in white finally spoke and said softly, "Everyone, the one in the crystal coffin is my father. He has been afflicted with a strange poison, and we used all sorts of methods but were unable to help him expel the poison. We can only freeze him and reduce the damage the poison has done to his body." Soon after, everyone started asking about the symptoms of the poison, but the woman didn't say it clearly either. She only said that it was a strange poison, and the symptoms of the poison were also very common, making it impossible to tell what kind of poison it was. There were a few old alchemists here, and they all shook their heads. "Miss, do you have your father's blood?" Chen Shang asked. "You need to see the blood to know." "Yes, but his blood is normal." The lady looked at Chen Shang and took out a transparent bottle. "My father's blood also contains highly toxic poison. We have tested it on a savage beast." Hearing her words, everyone immediately took a few steps back, fearing that the bottle would suddenly break and splash onto their bodies. Only Chen Shang was not afraid, but he was rather interested and said, "Can you give it a try on the spot?" "That shouldn't be a problem, right?" Quote. A manager from the Fire Reverence School nodded. Today was meant to broaden their horizons, so it was not bad for them to be able to see this strange poison. The white-clothed female nodded, and then the people of Fire Reverence School made a large space and even did some protective measures. "This is a dragon lion." The woman in white took out a huge dragon lion and placed it on the ground. Then, she carefully dripped some of the poison on it. Everyone's heart was bleeding. This dragon lion was very valuable, worth at least a few 100,000 jade money. It was actually used as a demonstration and was such a waste. Of course, this was also because the woman was extremely rich and powerful. To be able to take out 2 billion jade money to cure her father's poison, it was obvious that she had a very powerful background. After the dragon lion was poisoned by the blood, its entire body suddenly turned black. Black gas emerged from its body as it quickly melted. In a few blinks of an eye, the dragon lion's corpse turned into black smoke and disappeared. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. The dragon and lion's bodies were extremely powerful, yet they actually managed to survive. It was just a drop of poisonous blood. "Do you see it now? I wonder if any friends know what poison it is?" the woman asked. Seeing that no one replied, the woman in white sighed helplessly and sat on a stool, waiting. Everyone did not know what poison it was, but they knew that the poisoned middle-aged man in the crystal coffin was extremely powerful. With such a poisonous blood in his body, he was still alive, so this power was definitely stronger than someone like the Fire Reverence School leader. "Can you let me have a look at that bottle of poisonous blood?" Chen Shang asked. "No, that thing is very dangerous. I think the moment you step into the Dao Ti realm, half a drop is enough for you to die thousands of times." The woman in white shook her head. "I am a member of the Impenetrable, so I know a lot of poisons. This thing definitely won't kill me." Chen Shang laughed. Chu Hongqing shouted, in order to get close to a beauty, you're going to pay with your life. Chen Shang immediately replied, I want to screw over her jade money, this girl clearly doesn't think much of jade money. If I cure her father's poison, forget about 2 billion, even 10 billion will not be a problem. Just watch. Quote. Everyone could not bear to watch anymore and thought that Chen Shang was trying to seduce a girl. Impenetrable also requires strength. You just cultivated a Dao body, what nonsense are you spouting? Yeah, who the hell would believe that you have the impenetrable? This girl's father is much stronger than you, so wouldn't he still be poisoned to death? Forget about this young lady's father, just the dead dragon lion is already stronger than you. Quote. Chen Shang laughed. If the poison blood drips onto my body and does not die, how about you slap yourself 100 times? I'm betting my life against you. Quote. 100 slaps? I'm willing to drink 10,000, why don't you drink? It's like the wind blowing through the sky. The man laughed. Chen Shang said to the white-clothed female, Miss, if you want to cure your father's poison, then give me your blood. I think it's very similar to the poison that I've encountered. If you dare to steal the bottle of blood, or do anything reckless, I will kill you immediately. The white-clothed female said very seriously, and then passed the bottle of blood to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took it, and immediately opened the bottle, dripping blood onto his palm. The majority of the blood dripped onto the bottle, on his entire palm. When the white-clothed female saw that Chen Shang was fine, she was immediately stunned. The others were the same, especially the person who poisoned Chen Shang. Just when everyone was startled, Chen Shang did an even more shocking action. He actually absorbed the blood in his palm into his own body, intentionally allowing the poison blood to seep into his body. As the white-clothed woman was shocked, she was also secretly excited, as if she had seen hope. Chu Hongqing was also shocked. Now she knew that Chen Shang was not bragging just now, it was really his impenetrable. This big brother, how are you doing? Have you really seen this poison before? The woman in white asked. It's slightly different from what I've seen, but it's more or less the same. It can be said that it's even more powerful than the poison I've seen. Chen Shang frowned, his expression was stern. Whether or not I can cure the poison will have to wait for me to concoct the pill. Right now, Chen Shang was sure that the middle-aged man inside the crystal coffin was a dragon. Furthermore, its strength was extremely terrifying. Chu Hongqing had told him before that dragons were very rare here, and they were all very powerful and mysterious. The poison was very similar to the black dragon flower poison he was familiar with. It was just that it dealt severe damage to dragons and didn't have much poison effect on humans and other savage beasts. Chapter 2397, C2397. C2397. In their eyes, Chen Shang did not look like an expert, especially when he was staring at the white-clothed female. However, when they saw that the poison blood did not cause him any harm, they all felt that they were mistaken. The white-clothed woman knew very well about that poison. If these ancient era's divine dragons were to be poisoned, they would all be half dead. Yet, this human before her was completely unharmed. Are you really okay? The woman in white asked again. Just now, you absorbed the poison into your body. Many experts are unable to withstand the poison. Do you see how I look like now that I've been poisoned? Chen Shang laughed. Miss, please keep your father safe. Once the heavenly Dao meet is over, I will help you concoct pills to cure his poison. Chen Shang felt that he could get rid of the Three Lotus Dan with a slightly higher level of cultivation. It was just that he wanted to fish for a little more. Since the other party was an ancient divine dragon, they would definitely have a lot of good stuff. Can't you do that now? The woman in white was slightly anxious as she asked, Big brother, what pill are you refining? Is it going to take long? Quote. The woman in white believed that the pill required a long time to refine in order to cure her father's poison. I still want to attend the Heavenly Dao auction. I have already registered for the pill forging competition, and I still lack a portion of medicinal herbs. However, you don't have to worry, I promise I will be able to cure your father of his poison. Chen Shang laughed. If not for the fact that Chen Shang had not come in contact with the poisonous blood earlier, no one present would have believed that he was such an expert. All right, the white-clothed woman placed her father inside a storage ring and whispered, Big brother, I have been by your side for the past few days. Right now, I am also on my own. The white-clothed female was not afraid that Chen Shang would do anything to her, because she knew her own strength. Well, fine, I'll concoct the antidote for your father after the competition is over. Chen Shang laughed. My name is Yun Fei, what about you, miss? Long Xuangru. The woman in white spoke softly. Chen Shang also guessed that she was surnamed Long and nodded. Miss Long, you must have come from somewhere very far away. They don't look like people here. Yes sir. Long Xuangru replied and then stood beside Chen Shang. Everyone was a little jealous when they saw this, and with this, a beauty becomes follower. Chen Shang really didn't have time to refine pills right now. He had originally planned to let Long Xuangru contact him after a while, but he didn't expect Long Xuangru to take the initiative to ask to follow him, so he reluctantly agreed. Hey, can you really help her father cure the poison? Chu Hongqing asked. Don't lie to me. How would I dare? She is a dragon, and is very strong. She followed me probably because she was worried that I would die. Right now, I am her father's only hope in curing the poison. Chen Shang replied with a smile, my wife, Bai Long, was also infected by this kind of poison before. I solved it on that occasion. Now, Chu Hongqing was a little convinced of what Chen Shang had said. She had seen how terrifying that poison was and how it could quickly melt a dragon lion. Just like this, Chen Shang brought Long Xuangru to wander around the plaza, but Chen Shang was having a lot of fun, while Long Xuangru seemed to be deep in thought, as he followed by Chen Zhang's side with his head lowered, not interested in anything around them. Chen Shang bought a lot of things, all of them were refining ingredients, especially the top quality materials that he bought the most. Shui Shenxian and the others loved these things the most. In the evening, the Fire Reverend School's plaza was still very lively, but Chen Shang was already tired of playing. He brought Long Xuangru out of the Fire Reverend School and arrived at a relatively good inn. Although Long Xuangru was a dragon, she still ate these things. When she ate, she did so elegantly, unlike Long Shui who ate like a tornado. Miss Long, you don't have to worry. I will definitely be able to cure your father's poison. Chen Shang laughed. Seeing that you haven't been happy all day, you must be worried about this. Long Xuangru said softly, other than worrying about my father's poison, there's also your safety. Chen Shang raised his eyebrows, and laughed dryly. Could it be that some strong person wanted to kill your father, and in order to prevent your father from coming back to life, they would kill me? Long Xuangru lightly nodded his head. I'm sorry, I didn't say this before. If you can cure my father's poison, I will double the amount of jade money you have and my father will also eradicate his enemy. At that time, they will not take revenge on you. Actually, I'm also quite a troublemaker. If I cause any trouble, Miss Long, please help me block it for a while. Chen Shang laughed. He had guessed that Long Xuangru's father had a strong enemy, but he did not think that he would actually follow Long Xuangru here, so why didn't he kill him? He felt that Long Xuangru's identity must definitely not be simple. No problem. Long Xuangru agreed very straightforwardly. Why are you participating in the pill forging competition? Long Xuangru asked again. Is it for the jade money? I can give it to you. I only wish for you to cure my father of his poison as soon as possible. Quote. It's not because of the jade money, you are not alchemist, so you do not know how important the competition is. Chen Shang said. Long Xuangru had already put down her chopsticks and used her hand to hold her cheek as she stared at Chen Zhang's face. Chen Shang was currently wolfing down her food, and when he noticed that Long Xuangru was looking at him, he immediately felt a little unnatural. I always felt that your face wasn't real. Long Xuangru said. It was said that only the White Dragon clan could use this technique. At the moment, Chen Shang did not dare say that he knew this method. He was afraid that the dragon race had a death rule, and did not allow humans to use this ability. I've said that I'm a troublemaker, so my name and face are fake. Please forgive me. Chen Shang laughed and continued to eat. I have seen many alchemists, their strengths are many times stronger than you, but they are powerless against my father's poison, especially when they see the power of that poisonous blood, they are extremely afraid. Long Xuangru then asked, are you hiding your cultivation? Of course not, I really just entered the Dao Ti realm, I don't even have a single trace. Chen Shang did not know why, but this Long Xuangru suddenly spoke a lot more. My alchemy skills are very profound. If I had the strength of those guys, I could dominate this world. While Chen Shang was chewing on vegetables, he was not domineering in the slightest when he said these words. At night, Chen Shang returned to his room and looked at the 3 divine lotuses of the 3 lotus Dan. After that, he closed his eyes and began to condense the purple pearls. Chapter 2398, C2398. C2398. Early in the morning, Chen Shang walked out of his room and saw Long Xuanru bringing over some pastries, which had a fragrant smell. "Hurry up and eat it. I made it myself," Long Xuanru said gently. "You can still do this," Chen Shang said while laughing, and then walked over and quickly swept it all away. Of course, he also left some for Chu Hongqing, who was inside the ring, to taste. "Today, I am going to participate in the pill refining competition. I can compete in 3 rounds a day," Chen Shang said. "After the competition, bring me to a safe place and I will start my closed-door cultivation to refine pills." Long Xuanru nodded, then walked out of the inn with Chen Shang and headed towards the Fire Reverent School. There was finally a competition area in the plaza, and a stage had been built. Since the pills and cultivators were closely linked, it brought many benefits to the cultivators, so the competition was worthy of their attention. This would let them know that the alchemist was stronger. Neither Chu Hongqing nor Chen Shang came. Did they escape or were they killed? I don't know, there must be something fishy about this, especially that Chen Shang. He must be very interested in this kind of competition, he definitely won't come. It's very possible that he was killed by the Fang family. Who asked him to refine such an important Qiwan Dan of the Fang family? It would be strange if he didn't die. That's true, with Chen Shang dead, Chu Hongqing is also dead, what a pity. During this period of time, Chen Shang was very famous in the Fang family. It was like taking Chu Hongqing as a servant and refining a Qiwan Dan to make the Fang family lose 200 million. That was why many people wanted to see him today. After all, many of the people present had never seen him in person. Long Xuanru and Chen Shang walked over together, and when she heard these words, she glanced at Chen Shang with a hint of a smile in her eyes, as if she had already guessed Chen Zhang's identity. Chen Shang met her gaze, shrugged his shoulders, and did not say much. He then took out the jade tablet he obtained when registering and entered the competition grounds. Chen Shang saw Fang Heng again, and Fang Heng also came to participate. Other than him, Lan Taotian was also familiar with all of these things, and there were also many disciples from famous sects and families. And the most eye-catching people were Fang Heng and a man dressed in gold, named Huang Shaoshan. Chen Shang quickly found out that Huang Shaoshan was Fire Reverend School leader Huang Tian's youngest son. This Huang Shaoshan has a good relationship with him. They usually hang around together, and their standard of alchemy is about the same. Chu Hongqing said. Originally, it was viewed as a battlefield for Fang Heng and his opponent, because of the few hundred alchemists who were participating in the competition, they received the most attention. However, after Chen Shang changed his name to Yun Fei, he had also received a lot of attention. It was because yesterday, he had sworn an oath at Long Xuanru's place that he would be able to cure that strange poison, and that he would be fine if he touched that frightening poisonous blood. She followed Chen Shang because she wanted to protect him. This was her current purpose, and she had seen people who had a better hope of helping her father cure the poison. Chen Shang felt that today, he would definitely be able to ruthlessly defeat Fang Heng again. Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan's eyes lit up when they saw Long Xuanru, who was outside the stage. Long Xuanru was not only beautiful, but also had a very refined temperament. Let the competition begin. Everyone needs to use our pill furnaces to test their pills. Only then will it be fair. An old man said, and then a lot of people walked in and gave out pill furnaces to the alchemist. At this time, Chen Shang noticed Huang Shaoshan and Fang Heng, the two middle-aged men who gave out the pill furnaces, gave them a meaningful glance. Chen Shang immediately furrowed his brows, because he could tell that Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan's pill furnaces were of relatively higher quality and were extremely good quality, even though their outside appearance was no different from other people's pill furnaces. No matter what, I still have a few women who are skilled in smithing. How could I not be able to tell? Chen Shang could immediately tell that something was amiss with their pill furnace, and he sneered in his heart. It was clear that the Fire Reverend School was manipulating them secretly, allowing the two of them to last until the end. Only this way would they be able to become stronger and become more famous. If you can get first place in this competition, you will be able to obtain a high-grade king-level pill formula and a portion of medicinal ingredients. You are also a Dao Mark Dan that everyone is very familiar with, a rare emperor pill that can help you gain insights. An old man said. The alchemist was immediately in an uproar. This was indeed an extremely precious pill recipe, and if he could get more medicinal ingredients, it would be even better. There were not many people who knew how to refine this pill, and only Fire Reverend School's and some elders knew about it, so they could not casually teach it to others. Although Huang Tian is the fire reverent school leader, he cannot give the pill formulas to others as he pleases. Otherwise, he would have already given it to his own son. If he were to give it to them casually, the elders of the fire reverent school would definitely not let him off the hook so easily. However, as the highest reward for the competition in the natural law divine realm, it is actually permissible for him to give it to his son. Chu Hongqing said. I saw it just now, when they gave out the pill furnaces, they gave Huang Shaoshan and Fang Heng the best pill furnaces. It seems that the moment they wanted to start, they caused all the other alchemists to fail. Chen Shang said. They want to make sure that either Fang Heng or Huang Shaoshan get the Dalmark Dan's pill formulas. Chu Hongqing said. How despicable. Chen Shang laughed. But it's different now, I must get the pill formulas, of course, the most important thing is to get the ingredients. Now, Chu Hongqing also knew the heaven-defying ability that Chen Shang had used to duplicate medicinal herbs. Medicinal herbs were indeed very important to him. Be quiet, the elder in charge shouted. Next, I will announce the rules. The rules are very simple. In a limited time, just refine the best quality pills. Regardless of the number of pills you produce, just look at the quality. Chen Shang immediately guessed that this old man would definitely have a special quality testing tool. As expected, it was a very tall stone tablet with a lot of markings on it, and at the bottom of the stone tablet, there was a pit where one could place a pill. Chen Shang had seen many of these kinds of tools that could be used to test the quality. They were all of similar quality and more trustworthy, so he couldn't do anything about it. At this moment, the old man was using a lot of pills. They were all of good quality, with a maximum of 200, while the pills he was testing were all capable of lighting up a bar of 150. In terms of numbers of pills that came out, Fang Heng had suffered greatly. Clearly, this was to prevent Chen Shang from having such terrifying numbers, so they only competed in terms of quality. Although they knew that Chen Shang would not come, they still chose to follow this rule in case an alchemist like Chen Shang appeared. Those who reach the top 50 will be able to enter the next round. There will be a total of 3 matches. The rules are the same, but the pills refined will be different. The old man said. Right now, there were people distributing the Yaozhdan's medicinal ingredients. Chapter 2399, C2399. C2399. Refining Yaozhdan was a piece of cake for Chen Shang. He felt that he would definitely be able to enter the top 50 without any pressure. I have to finish this in 2 hours. The old man said. For the first round, let's start the refining of the Yaozhdan. Many of the participating alchemists began to frown as this was rather harsh on them. After all, the rule now was that they would only compete in terms of quality, and that would require a lot of time to compress. From the very beginning, many people were complaining that the pill furnace was terrible. What lousy pill furnace is this? It's no different from mud, I'm not going to forge it anymore. A large man shouted out angrily as he smashed the pill furnace with his palm. One could see how terrible the pill furnace was when it turned to dust. Many people left the venue without even starting. A truly skilled alchemist would succeed even without a pill furnace. Don't you know that Chen Shang did not even use a pill furnace to refine 10 pills? It seems like Fire Reverend School did this on purpose. Chen Shang did not expose the pill furnaces Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan used. Even if he wanted to, he would have to wait until he obtained the Dalmark Dan's pill formulas. Everyone was surprised at first, but after a short while, there were only 3 people left. Chen Shang, Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan. The rest could not stand that broken pill furnace. Some of the pill furnaces were directly melted in the beginning, and could not even be activated, which was why many people had no choice but to give up. This Yunfei is pretty good, he actually persisted for so long. I thought this guy only knew how to boast. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. No wonder he dared to say that he could cure the poison. Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan are truly Supreme Flame's disciples. Their son was able to use this broken furnace to refine pills for so long. Everyone was discussing amongst themselves, and the alchemists who were leaving the competition could not refuse to admit to it. At least, they were unable to do so, and could only secretly hate themselves for being too low-leveled. However, many people felt that it was strange, because many of the participants in the pill refining competition were disciples of famous sects. Long Xuangru had also seen through a lot of things. She knew that Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan's pill furnaces were very good, they were given to them intentionally by the Fire Reverend School to eliminate everyone else. That way, they could save on medicinal ingredients, because many people left without concocting pills. When Long Xuangru saw that Chen Shang could endure for so long using a broken pill furnace, she felt that the chances of it happening was even higher. She had already guessed that this Yunfei was that Chen Shang before, and had also heard of his deeds in Fire Dao Divine Place. Just now, Chen Shang could tell how sinister the Fire Reverent School was, so he didn't plan on showing such an astonishing performance at the start. Very quickly, Fang Heng and Huang Xiaoshan had finished refining, and Chen Shang was a little later than them. There's no need to test for quality anymore, because the first round's rules is that one will be able to enter the next round after entering the top 50. Now there's only the three of you, and as long as you can refine Yaozdan, you will definitely be able to enter the next round. Just like that, the second round began without any further testing. For the second round, to refine a middle-grade heaven stage Yaozdan, the two with the best quality will be able to enter the third round. The time limit will still be 2 hours. The old man said again. Chen Shang took a deep breath. He could not hide his true strength this time, if not, he would be eliminated if his quality was not good enough. I know Fang Heng's standards. As long as I perform normally, my quality will definitely be better than his. Moreover, I'm only refining one pellet, it shouldn't be a problem for me to be stronger than him. Chen Shang carefully considered for a moment before deciding on how to refine it. 2 hours passed by very quickly. When they were close to the end, they announced the completion of the refinement process. This time, they would need to conduct a quality test. The first one he tested was Fang Heng. After he placed his Yaozdan in the pit, he saw that the ranking bar on the stone tablet had lit up. It was at the 130 position. This was the best. Fang Heng was very satisfied. Then it was Huang Xiaoshan's turn. He was at the 145th position, which made him very proud, because he was much higher up than Fang Heng. Finally, it was Chen Zhang's turn. It was also because this arena was viewed as Huang Xiaoshan and Fang Heng. Whether or not they could break this theory, all they could do was rely on Chen Shang. Yunfei, it's your turn, the old man shouted. Fang Heng and Huang Xiaoshan were more wary of Yunfei, because they knew that their pill furnaces were all good, while Yunfei's pill furnaces were very broken, but to be able to hold on till now, he definitely had a good foundation. 135. The old man said in shock. Everyone could see him clearly, and with that, Fang Heng would be wiped out. Fang Heng had been eliminated, which made Fang Heng extremely angry. He was the genius of the Fang family, the disciple of Supreme Flame's leader, but he had been taken down by a nameless newbie. Of course, Chen Shang had suppressed himself earlier, otherwise his quality would not have been so low. Huang Xiaoshan did not think much of it, because during the test just now, Chen Shang was slightly lower than him. He felt that Chen Shang was only at this level, and he would definitely win the next round. Fang Heng walked out of the arena in an extremely unreconciled manner. This arrangement had already been made in the beginning, and would let him and Huang Xiaoshan's battle to the end. Even if he lost, it would not look that bad. To him, this was a great shame, and others would laugh at him in the future. The third match is still a Yaozdan. It's just a high-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan. It's only for 6 hours. The old man said. Chen Shang looked at Fang Heng's furnace, which was still there. He hoped that the old man had not kept it, or else he would not have a chance to reveal it. As expected, the old man didn't keep them and announced the start of the competition. Chen Shang did not even put Huang Xiaoshan in his eyes. Forget about Huang Xiaoshan, even if leader Huang Tian came, he could guarantee his victory under these rules. This was because the quality of the Yaozdan that he refined using the crash method was extremely shocking. He wasn't sure how much quality it would have, but it would definitely not be any worse than Huang Xiaoshan's. In the previous 2 rounds, he did not use that broken pill furnace at all. He had even released a magic method furnace from the broken pill furnace, so the broken pill furnace would not be damaged because of that. Refining high-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan required at least 6 hours, which was extremely demanding. Many alchemists required at least 10 times the amount of time, and some needed even more than a month to complete it. Therefore, no matter what, as long as they could refine a high-grade heaven-ranked Yaozdan at this time, they would be a very promising alchemist. Huang Xiaoshan was sweating profusely. It was obvious that he was not relaxed either. It was the same for Chen Shang, because using magic method furnace to execute crash method was very challenging. Chapter 2400, C2400. C2400. At this moment, Huang Xiaoshan's face was full of pride, as if he had already won. In his opinion, the quality of the Yaozdan that Chen Shang had refined before was much lower than his own, so this round would definitely not be able to surpass his. Everyone felt the same way, because Chen Shang was not only sweating, he was frowning. It was obvious that he was facing a huge difficulty and was trying his best to save his opponent. He had used the crash method just now, and it was even within the magic method furnace S. It had to be known that the upper grade heaven stage Yaozdan did contain an extremely rich amount of energy, and adding to that, when he used the crash method, he still needed to add a lot of his own energy as a push to charge through the formation. Therefore, when they collided, the energy that erupted was extremely terrifying. Previously, he had his Chuangshi God furnace, so he did not have to worry about the energy that would spread to his pill furnace. But now it was different, his pill furnace was too damaged, and he could only use magic method furnace S to strengthen it from the inside. Only after continuing for a long time did Chen Shang finally relax. It seemed like he had already completed the collision process, and had even merged all of it together. Look at Yunfei's pill furnace. A man with sharp eyes shouted in a hurry. Everyone immediately looked carefully and found that there were many cracks on the surface of the pill furnace. The cracks were like spider webs that covered the entire surface of the pill furnace. In fact, the pill furnace had already been shattered by the force of the explosion. In order to prevent others from seeing him using the magic method furnace to concoct pills, Chen Shang had used his own strength to wrap it up, preventing the pill furnace from shattering. If he were to be exposed now, the Fang family and Huang Tian would know that he was Chen Shang, and at that time, he would not be able to obtain the Dalmark Dan's medicinal formula. Although there were cracks on the surface of the pill furnace, Chen Shang did not explode, which was a very strange thing for many alchemists. It looked like there was an invisible force enveloping the entire pill furnace, preventing it from breaking, and that required a very clever control over the furnace to do. Many people secretly admired him. They all understood how Chen Shang was able to endure using a pill furnace to this point. They felt that Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan were doing the same thing. If not for the pill furnace, they would not have been able to last till now. Time was running out. Although it was only 4 hours, the spectators were still chatting and did not feel bored. If this Yunfei wins first place, then the Eternal Life Native Bank will have a huge profit because no one will be able to buy this result. Yeah, everyone passed by the Eternal Life Native Bank and made a small bet, but they did not know that Chen Shang had placed a huge bet. The old man in charge of gambling from Eternal Life Native Bank was also watching on the side, cursing Chen Shang in his heart. If Chen Shang could endure through all 3 matches, his Eternal Life Native Bank would not be able to earn much either. Time is up, an old man on the stage shouted. Chen Shang and Huang Shaoshan opened their eyes at the same time. They had already completed it long ago, but had allowed the pellet to stay in the furnace for a while to absorb the qi that was in the furnace to strengthen the pellet's quality. Both of their pills were of the same black color. It was hard to tell which one was better from the outside, so they had to pass the test. You first. Chen Shang smiled faintly. Huang Shaoshan walked over, and then placed the Yaozdan he refined into a pit, only to see the stone monument suddenly lit up. 160. This one has already surpassed your father, the old man said in surprise. Huang Shaoshan was extremely pleased, because he knew that his father's previous tests were not as good as his. It's your turn. I'm also a pretty good alchemist. Even if you lose, don't be discouraged and join our fire reverent school. Huang Shaoshan laughed, looking at his proud smile. It was as though he had already obtained first place. Chen Shang walked in front of the stone tablet and placed his Yaozdan in the hole. At the same time, everyone was also confused why the stone tablet did not light up. Top. A person shouted in shock, 200. His quality is actually 200. The crowd didn't think that it had 200 points in quality, so they didn't pay attention to it from the beginning. Now that they saw it, they couldn't help but be stunned. It was indeed 200. Chen Shang felt that the pellet he had refined was not just of such quality. It should be of a higher quality instead, just that the stone tablet only had 200 tick marks. Impossible. After Huang Shaoshan saw it, he shouted, this monument must be broken, it can't be of such high quality. Try your one again. Chen Shang smiled slightly. As expected, Huang Shaoshan tried again, and it was at the 160 scale bars that lit up. Now, everyone believed that the test method was not broken, it was just that Huang Shaoshan did not accept this fact. At this time, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared. It was Huang Shaoshan's father, Huang Tian. When the fire reverent school leader appeared, Chen Shang immediately became vigilant. Dad, there's definitely something wrong with the stone tablet. Huang Shaoshan anxiously said. You said it before, it is impossible for it to be that high quality. Chu Hongqing was also very surprised that the pill refined by Chen Shang would be of such high quality. If she did not have a deep understanding of Chen Shang, she would not dare believe that this was true, because she understood the testing monument very well. Huang Tian nodded and said, I also feel that it's strange, so I brought a better one. Let's do the test again. Huang Shaoshan was instantly overjoyed, and said, quickly, take it out. Sure enough, Huang Tian took out another one. This one was taller than the previous one, and there were even more than the previous one. In total, there were 400 of them. Chen Shang found it funny. It's impossible for the quality to be that high. Why did you make so many scale bars? This stone tablet shouldn't have been created by you guys, right? Everyone also felt that it was strange. The 200-grade stone tablets from before was understandable, because the quality could reach 160, or even 170. This could be considered the peak, which could be considered normal. However, the one that Huang Tian had taken out really did have 400 scale bars. There was clearly a contradiction between them. The quality is limitless, I said before, it is impossible to reach such a high level, it is based on our current level, this world is big, there are not only fire Tao divine place, and this stone tablet is also very ancient, it was left behind by ancient people. Huang Tian said. Chen Shang secretly frowned, because he had already returned to the most ancient big chaotic times, and Huang Tian actually said that there were still people from the ancients. Huang Shaoshan immediately walked up to test his Yaozdan. It still had 160 points, and everyone could clearly see it light up on the 160 points mark. It's your turn, Huang Shaoshan said as he looked at Chen Shang. Coming, Chen Shang walked over, and after placing his own Yaozdan on it, he immediately looked up.